That's fucked. Holy shit.
Oh my god, there's so many of them. Oh, there it is! Fuck!
But if evolution is real, and if there is this constant, I don't know, but it's visible. Like you can measure it in certain animals.
You can measure adaptation.
Yeah,
but there's no evidence that in fact, I think we've kind of given up on the idea of evolution. The theory of evolution, as articulated by Darwin, is like kind of not true. Right?
In what sense?
Well, in the most basic sense, the idea that, all life emerged from a single cell organism and over time, and there would be a fossil record of that, and there's not. And
there's not a fossil record of transitionary species, like species that are adapting to its environment.
There's
and
tons of record of
Right.
adaptation, and you see it in your own life. I mean, I have a lot of dogs. I see adaptation in dogs, through the litter to litter. But no, there's no evidence at all that zero, that, people, evolve seamlessly from a single cell amoeba. No, there's not. There's no chain in the fossil record of that at all. And that's why you don't actually hear people, you hear them make reference to evolution because the theory of adaptation is clearly, obviously true. But Darwin's theory's totally, that's why it's still a theory almost 200 years later, No, we have not found that at all. And I can't even guess. I mean, I have my own theories on it, but they're not proven.
What are your theories?
God created people, distinctly, and animals. I mean, I think what every person on Earth thought until the mid-19th century, actually.
Right, but
it's not a new idea.
They didn't have computers. They didn't have a general understanding that we have today of the process.
Do you think we understand more now?
Yes.
Really?
You don't think that we understand more today?
We understand way less. We understand so little that we're actually sitting here allowing a bunch of greedy, stupid, childless software engineers in Northern California to flirt with the extinction of mankind.
Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Live from the Hive. Why does my makeup look like my eye is tearing? Hold on. I can't have that. I don't know what that's all about. I will deal with it. Interesting. Anyway, good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome once again to Live from the Hive. The the Saturday morning variety show where we dive into the world of skepticism and overturning beliefs in favor of science. Thank you so much for joining me. The first thing I want to say is appreciate everybody who shows up here every Saturday morning, because I wouldn't keep doing this without you. So thank you so much for giving me something to focus on when life keeps kicking us when we're down. It's rough times right now for everybody. This trans woman in Texas is feeling it. So any support and love you can send my way would be appreciated. again, as I said on the stream with Dave last night, if you want something for your support, we have CrypticCorner t-shirts now available. You got your Mothman, your Dogman, Bigfoot, Jersey Devil. Yeah, all fun stuff. Actually, I couldn't figure out a way to do a nice rotation on them, so they're just kind of all laying out there right now. So if you want a CrypticCorner t-shirt, you better get one because they're awesome. Dave wore one last night on the show. And last night's show, Charlatan's Web, we've been doing on Friday evenings, was pretty fun. Last night we did Todd Standing, the famous Bigfoot grifter. But prior to that, the week before, I was had Nancy from the Apostate Sisters on, and we tackled the Dr. Stephen Greer's, what do you call it, alien cult, UFO cult? I don't know. We tackled that, though, and some of his crazy claims about aliens, including the 69 species, which did inspire me to put the option that I have currently on the one that won this week on the list. So, yeah. Without further ado, yeah, let's do that. Let's move right into it. I still haven't set up a poll page. I'm sorry. Let's move right into the polls, though. We'll do this, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do... No, that's going to cause one of those falling hole things. We wanted this. All right, there we go. I look really gothy today. I didn't even try hard. I just do. It's just seeping into my pores. Good morning, good morning. All right, so as you know, this is my community page where I post all my nonsense, right? Where I talk about mostly cryptozoology and stuff like that. You want to milk that Baja Blast beast? I share a birthday with SpongeBob. My birthday was this week. I don't know if you knew that or not, but my friends took me to the zoo Wednesday. It was lovely to get out and see some animals. I did see at least one species that I hadn't seen before, which was a greater Indian rhino. I've never seen one in real life before. Though the ones that look like they have the armor plating on them, so cool. Would recommend getting to know one. Went to the El Paso Zoo. It's really small, but it's what we have here. I'm used to the St. Louis Zoo, which is like always ranked in the top 5 in the nation. So, El Paso Zoo couldn't really compete on that level. But anyway, that's what I did for my birthday. And we went to, we had a deep dish pizza on my birthday and cheesecake. And we watched the new Nosferatu, and then we watched Friendship is Magic until bedtime. It was a nice day. It was a lovely day. Thank you so much, Ben and Bo, for making my birthday actually feel like a birthday and actually showing some love and giving some care. Yeah, I've always done the zoo for my birthday, like growing up and stuff. But again, it was always the St. Louis Zoo, so it was a little bit different. I was so excited I couldn't sleep. I was like a kid on Christmas the night before. Just losing my shit about the proposition of going and looking at the aminals. Anyway. I did run a poll for this, too, just to see what people are kind of interested in. You all really want to take down some psychics and stuff, it seems like. So we will be adding Sylvia Brown up next. All these people will eventually be on Charlatan's Web. Actually, this one I'm having Dr. Ben on with, and this poll is still open. So if you want to change your vote or vote for something different on it, let me know. We got, and I will try to have guests for all of these. Yeah. Anyway, to the polls. So this week in Weird, we did encapsulated creatures again, which is like toads and lizards and sometimes dinosaurs found trapped inside rocks or inside geodes. Then we did Charming the Serpent, which has been on there for a long time. So if you want to see that serpent video, you better let us know. And then we had a tie for first place, which was the Cursed Treasure and celebrity clones. But since Cursed Treasure's been on here a lot longer than, well, not a lot longer, a couple weeks longer than celebrity clones, we're going with that one. So that's what we're covering today. So that's how I'm doing it from now on. I'm not going to beg people to come vote. I'm just going to be like, okay, whichever one's older is the one that gets picked next. So, yeah, stick around for Cursed Treasure coming up later in the show. But for the feature event, I guess, is Cryptic Corner the feature event for Life in the Hive? I feel like it is for a lot of people. Yes, your treasure won, Ember. I'm so happy. So happy for you. But in Cryptic Corner, got the Nandy Bear and the Big Muddy Monster, with Big Muddy Monster's our newest Bigfoot creature that's on the list. So if you want to find out about that big stomping mud-caked creature, it's not always Bigfoot looking either. It has other kind of appearances that are frequently associated with it as well. Yeah. Oh, you charmed your serpent before bed last night, did you, Trees? Oh, I worked late last night, doing my, the other job I have besides this one is the adult stuff. But, yeah, I was up late working on that. It went pretty wild. And then, we had Kushisaki Ono, which is our current ghost on the list. And she's a freaky Japanese ghost. So, you know, the Japanese, they know how to do ghosts. So hopefully y'all are excited and looking forward to that one, because that should be a fun one and a creepy one. It should be super spooky. There's a few Japanese ghosts that we'll get through eventually, but it's been a while since we just covered like a universally cultural ghost. So here we are. But that's not this week, because this week the aliens won again, the Lyrans, which are felinoid alien starseeds. Yes. All right, and don't forget, you have to stick around to the end of the show, everybody, because after this wraps up, we literally are jumping right over to Holy Spirits with Sidney Davis Jr. and Secular Rarity. That's coming to you from, this is Dr. Ben's new channel. It's kind of like Drunk History, except for instead of historical events, they tell Bible stories. They have some drinks and they tell Bible stories. And Sydney's got the flapper look going on here, which I love. But I digress. Let's jump right into Cryptic Corner and get this show on the road, shall we, little ladies and gentlemen, beauties and bees, and in-betweens, and everybody else? Or was it kings and queens and everything and all the in-betweens? That's what I like to say for the transpositions, if I can remember how it goes. I have to like keep things on Post-it notes and stuff because I forget my little lines. Anyway, I'll see you all over in Cryptic Corner. Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome again to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee. Good morning to the Live from the Hive family watching out there live on Saturday morning. If you want to watch the show live with me on Saturday morning and participate in the chats, You absolutely can every Saturday. That's was 9:30 Central Time, which is 10:30 Eastern Time. And where I am, it's 8:30 Mountain Time. And then off to the West Coast, where I hope to be soon, it'll be 7:30 in the morning. So good morning. Thank you so much, no matter where you are. And if you're in another place other than that and you're not in the Western Hemisphere, I'm not able to help with that. What do you say in audio? Okay. Thank you, Wraith. Native Atheist, are you trolling me? Are you trolling me? Oh, the audio I got you. The audio for the intro. Yeah. That's something else I need to work on. I've been in a bit of a state here, but no spooky audio. Sorry. Yeah, we'll get that fixed. What happened was the video that I pulled and the audio I pulled for it was off of one of those free, royalty free music pages, right? And then I put it on there and I get copyright strike for it. So I muted it and then forgot about it. So, so that's what happened there. Explanation. Yeah. As long as you can hear me. Yeah, as long as you can hear me, that's what's important. So, I love felines. I love kitties. We have a great kitty who lives with us. His name's Barney. It's Bo's kitty. He's a big gray tabby. Pretty hefty boy. I'd say probably maybe like 16 pounds, maybe 16, 18 pounds. He's a big boy. And we love him to death. And he comes and spends time in my room. He comes and sometimes he'll sit outside my door and tell me he wants me to come see him. He's very adorable. Anyway, so the thought of having a alien that can engage with us. No, I was the dumb one with the audio thing, not the audio. I was like, oh, I'll just mute it for now and I'll go find something different to put on it. And I just never did because I'm a hot mess. Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I go to the music creator site. Now I'll go there to their library or whatever, and I'll find the artist, and I'll go look at that artist page if they have something that has a good feel to it. Because I like to look for I like consistency in the sound profile to my segments. Yeah, but anyway, back to the cat people. Yeah, cat people. That's what we're talking about today. We've talked about dog people before. The dog people are apparently terrestrial, though. They're from somewhere equatorial. They live in a primitive native style of life. So we know how the dog people are. The cynocephaly. The dog people. When did we cover the dog people? How long ago has that been? Let's see, Sino. That was not too long ago, April 25th. So it's funny. Here, I'm gonna drop that in the live chat. I've been arguing in my chat underneath the Beast of Bodmin more with some pedantic, viewer. I'm guessing because I don't normally do it, but I posted it on Reddit because it was not getting any attention. So I posted it on Reddit to try to drum some stuff up, and I got this person who's on there insisting that you can't use cryptic in the context that I'm using it for this show. That you cannot use cryptics to refer to, as my intro says, the unexplained, supernatural, paranormal, and hidden, mysterious, alien, accursed, or forbidden. Apparently, no. They insist that even though cryptic is just the Greek word for hidden, this is the name of the show is literally just Hidden Corner in fancy talk. So Yeah, I mean, do with that what you will. I'm not saying, oh, you have to go side with me on that or anything, but this person's been arguing with me for weeks about it though, since that video came out. Like every couple of days I go on there's a new message explaining to me how the title of my show is stupid, and yeah, and is it? I as far as I know, I've always used cryptic, like a cryptic figure can move through the fog, right? It does not mean, the person insists that it has to be purposefully hidden, but there's nowhere in the definition of cryptic that means that. They just think that that's what it means. They feel like that's what it means. Yeah. Anyway, my link goes to YouTube Studios. Why didn't it share this? Hold on. Let's try that. It says video. It does say studio though. Here, try that one. That's just the Dogman video, because it's funny to think that we've got I say Dogman, not the Dogman video, but the Dogmen video, the Cynocephali video. We have these tribal primitive dog people on Earth, and then we have advanced aliens in space, which are cat people. So let's dive right into it. So the Lyrans are part of a larger grouping of alien conspiracies called the Starseeds, which is about like the universe being just chock full of aliens, all fun aliens. And they have videos about Dracos. They got the Hecra. We got some Cynocephali there too. Look at that. They do like dog people. And there's a rise, a war between, it looks like, the Lyran that we're covering today and the Draco, which are reptilian people. But there's your classic gray aliens and the Vril, whatever the hell a Vril is. I guess we need to put the Vril on the list sometime. Orions, there's some Orions who look like the Avatar people. What else do we got? We got some birdie people. There's bird people. And then, yeah, the enigmatic Lyran race revealed. Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Starseed conspiracy, but it ties into what we have here, spirit science. So that should give you the vibes. Graham Hancock, right? Ancient Atlantis, things like that. But I figure we'd let these Starseed 584 guide us on this journey of Lyran discovery. So, without further ado, let's dive right into some Lyranology.
Unveil the veil of the cosmos. Prepare to be transported to Lyra, a realm where stars birth.
Have I been saying it wrong? Is it Lyrans? I always thought it was Lyrans.
Majestic beings of wonder. Witness the enigma of the Lyrans, cosmic travelers, creators of life, and architects of existence. Their origins, their struggles, and their indelible mark on the universe await your discovery. Buckle up, for the Lyran saga begins.
Buckle up, bucko. Let's do this.
Now. In a universe teeming with mysteries and wonder, we turn our gaze to another majestic constellation, to another tale of cosmic significance. Prepare to journey back to the cradle of humanoid civilizations. Prepare to meet the Lyrans. From the ancient stars of Lyra, they radiated wisdom.
They do say Lyrans. Okay, so it's like Lyrans, like lions, because they're like lion people. Well, they're usually depicted as lion people. Sometimes they're just depicted as cat people. Depends on who you're following. Hieronymus Bosch bird people. Yes. It's the Birdman. You know, if being deliberately hidden and obscured by conspiracy is criteria to be a cryptid, then trans people kind of count. Yeah. Did you see that post about, trans people are monsters? And it's like, oh, okay, then these all belong to us. The Babadook is a gay icon, and I'm dating Mothman, which is kind of true. Who posted that? Was that Titan? I think that was Titan. Lyrans, says the Googles. So he's saying it wrong. I was saying Lyrans, and he's saying Lyrans.
Charted the universe's expanse, and they bore witness to the infancy of many races. including our own. But who really are the Lyrans? What
Or are we still in our infancy?
secrets do their starry origins hold? And how do their legacies influence us today? Join us as we delve deep into the heart of Lyra, unraveling its enigmatic history and meeting its illustrious inhabitants. Hold on, cosmic explorers, as we embark on another thrilling odyssey through the cosmos. The Lyrans await. Missed our captivating journey into the enigmatic realm of the Orions? Don't feel bad. You're just a click away from uncovering the cosmic secrets that define their existence.
We need to uncover the cosmic secrets as a hive, as a group mind, right? As a hive mind. And I'm your queen, right? So I send the mental signal out and we explore the vastness of the universe with our ever expanding psychic abilities. Because we've been training, right? Like I know what we went through it kind of quick, but we've covered psychic stuff and how to do that. We've covered telekinesis. We've done the telekinesis and pyrokinesis. So my hive should be like top of their game on taking on aliens with just the powers of your mind alone. This does sort of tie in with the EB. I always want to say that CE5, the meditating UFO cult that Stephen Greer operates, which is ironic because we are just talking about covering that. But yeah, the Lyrans are one of the 69 races that I'm sure Stephen Greer communicates with regularly.
Dive into Aliens Uncovered, the mysterious Orions, and discover a universe of intrigue and wonder. The link awaits you in the description and at the video's conclusion. Embark on a cosmic...
There's some Nordics. You see the Nordics over there? Just white people. White people are aliens. I love it. Does that mean we get to hang out with Nessie and Big Feet? Absolutely you do. You're hanging out with Big Feet right now. If you have the right accesses on the channel, you can actually make Bigfoot just stomp right across the screen. Doesn't look like I have too many channel members here right now, though. Where is everybody this morning? Good morning.
Quest you won't want to miss. Now let's get into it. The universe is an enormous and enigmatic place, full of numerous marvels and secrets just waiting to be uncovered. The Lyrans are species that exists of humanoids, felines, avian, and aquatic species with a strong bond to the collective consciousness and a long and complicated history, one of the many unique beings that inhabit the galaxy. The first creatures resembling humans to be produced by the felines in their founder's likeness were the vegan Lyrans. The felines' goal was
vegan felines, because a feline's anatomy is not in any way sculpted by evolution to be carnivorous and predatory. Oh no, it just converts right over to herbivorism. Actually, they were herbivores first. Let's just go with that. Even though if they have feline eyes, they have predator eyes. If they have feline ears, they have predator ears. If they have feline teeth, oh my gosh.
Was to create and spread life to the cosmos. By genetically altering the genetics of the local white ape-like creatures on the planet Vega in the Lyra constellation, which is around 25 light-years from Earth, the felines were able to complete this assignment.
Oh, you'll have to show me how to do that, Ember. I don't know. Free membership. Yeah, I would be down for that. I love handing out freebies. Because, yeah, I'm poor, so I imagine other people are poor too. And I'm like, hey, you know what, poor people? Here, have some free stuff. I love doing that. So, as a matter of fact, I'm making sure that my redirect is going to the right place right now. Because I want to make sure that it kicks everybody over to Holy Spirits. Okay. Is it going to be on the list?
This genetic engineering produced a humanoid race with physical traits that resemble those of humans, but differ slightly. such as a larger cranium, larger eyes, and lengthened digits. Similar to how life on Earth evolved through natural selection and genetic mutation, the Lyrans also developed on their home world. The Lyrans eventually created a highly developed civilization with cutting-edge technology and spiritual insight. They have a strong connection to the cosmos and the natural world and are extremely loving and sympathetic creatures. Now, these are the primary species that inhabited the Lyran constellation, the felines.
Oh, it doesn't have I don't have redirect privileges. I will, in between segments, I will go holler at Ben and say, hey, make sure you give me...
From the cosmic currents of a distant universe, the Lyran felines are ethereal travelers whose origins trace back to realms beyond human comprehension.
Yes, we gotta work as a team to subvert the oligarch. Absolutely. Cartoons are the best part of waking up. This is cartoons. Yeah, we're talking about alien races. This is like He-Man or Space Ghost or something. Those were Saturday morning cartoons. This is what we're doing. Except for these are real, because these are real aliens that live out there in outer space. Easy in YouTube. Click chat and then click the money button. And then at the bottom says get membership gifting. Okay. And it will let you drop 5 of the 10 you get each month. Okay. It's not. Well, I mean, it's saying buy gift memberships. And it gives me the prices for them. So it's not showing me anything free. Send memberships to this channel's viewers. The gift membership will send will be publicly announced. Lucky recipients selected by YouTube get 1 month of access to perks from the Cryptic Creeper. Yeah, but it just gives me costs on them. It doesn't show me. Anyway. And the Brack Show. Obviously, the Brack Show is the best. I love Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I used to actually the show the outro video. Maybe I should bring it back. It was Brack playing his keyboard, which went really good when I had a lot of more bug themed stuff on the channel. But the channel's I'm not really a bug channel anymore. That was my infancy. I've matured beyond that. It only works on the OBS actual live chat, not an OBS window or something similar. Okay. Yeah.
From the swirling stardust of distant galaxies, they carry the enigmatic wisdom of cosmic wanderers who traverse the celestial expanse to find their home in the star Vega, nestled within the Lyran constellation. The Lyran felines arrived in Vega with a mission woven into the very fabric of their being, to become the architects of life in a new...
I wish when I arrived in Vegas that was my ambition. But last time I was in Vegas, I had little kids with me, so I was like, I can't do anything fun here. So we just kind of drove through and took pictures. Next time I go to Vegas, my ambitions will be much more nefarious, probably. Nefarious. I'll have adult intentions to have fun without having my kids with me for the first time in Vegas.
New realm. Guided by their innate connection to the rhythms of the cosmos, they embarked on a journey of creation, shaping the landscapes, nurturing the flora.
Yeah, just to show you, Ember, I'm not talking about my OBS live chat. I'm in here. Like, I click on my little $sign, and then I click on that, and it just gives me the prices. It doesn't let me gift anything to anybody or anything like that. I don't know how to fix it, though. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Oh, there's Holy Spirits again. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun.
And fostering the emergence of diverse life forms. Theirs was a role of profound significance, as they became the custodians of...
I did manage to drop that in your chat last night, Ember, but then I forgot to check it in mine. But yeah. Yeah, Thundercats, that's what this reminds me of. Thank you. I was trying to think of how these would fit in. Thundercats are Lyrans.
Vega's harmony, ensuring that every creature thrived in symbiotic balance. With a regal presence that evokes both majesty and grace, the Lyran felines possess a form reminiscent of the noble lions of Earth's savannas. Their powerful bodies are sculpted by the very forces of the universe, each muscle a testament to their celestial lineage. Their fur, a masterpiece of colors unseen.
So to be clear, even under the starseed theory, aren't we all celestial origin? I mean, we're all a little bit aliens, right? I mean, we're all made out of stardust. That's that song. Is that Bono? That's we are made of stars. Yeah. I think so.
In the terrestrial realm shimmers with hues that mirror the birth of stars, from the deepest blues to the most radiant golds, weaving a tapestry of celestial
these
splendor.
Ones don't look like lions. These are just like house cat people. Hello, house cat people. So are there tigers? Because there's for real, if we're doing Thundercats, there has to be Panthro and Tigro. It's funny because with Panthro and Tigro, I always felt like they were inverted because Panthro was like the strong guy of the group, of the team, right? The strong guy should have been the tiger, and the Panther should have been the like the stealth guy, right? Like the ninja, and the tiger should have been the strong guy. But they inverted it and made Panthro the strong guy and gave him a big hulking mace and stuff, which was kind of weird. But, you know, I can't say how the dynamics of feline evolution worked on... What was the planet from Thundercats? I can't even remember. Regardless, though, I can't speak to that. But, and to be fair, Panthro could be a jaguar, and jaguars get bigger. There's some subspecies of tigers that are actually smaller than, or comparable to, or even smaller than jaguars, than the largest species of jaguars or subspecies of jaguar. Like a pinatal jaguar is as big as a lioness. Snarf looks like Robert Price. Ah!
Their eyes, radiant portals to ancient realms, hold the wisdom of galaxies, with colors that range from the serene blue of tranquil oceans to the vibrant green of flourishing forests.
I want blue and green cats' eyes. That would be super cool.
Their gaze reveals the secrets of ages spent exploring the cosmic sea. Intricate...
Well, I'm glad their gays have time to do that. Hopefully on Earth, our gays will have time to do fun stuff, too. Once they stop trying to, you know, oppress us.
Patterns and markings adorn their fur, each symbol and line a testament to their celestial heritage. These cosmic tattoos tell the story of their journey through distant galaxies, the constellations they crossed, and the energies they harnessed to become the architects of Vega's beauty. The Lyran feline's physical form, reminiscent of noble lions.
Some of them, and some of them are just little kitty cats. Their homeworld was Thundara, but the show was on the refuge planet of Third Earth. Yeah. Some of them are just little kitty cats. Some of them are lions, though.
Defies simple categorization, blurring the boundaries between the terrestrial and the cosmic. With every movement, they evoke a sense of wonder and mystery, a reminder that they
If you speak at my funeral, can you add that to the eulogy that... Hold on.
are beings. With every movement, they evoke a sense of wonder and mystery, a reminder cosmic. Simple categorization, blurring the boundaries between the terrestrial and the cosmic.
I want that to be said at my eulogy. I blurred the line between the terrestrial and the cosmic, please.
With every movement, they evoke a sense of wonder and mystery, a reminder that they are beings born of stars and shaped by the cosmos. In their very essence,
See,
the
there's
Lyran feline
more kitty cat people. These ones are well endowed and shapely. Somebody, whoever drew this is going straight to horny jail. These are the horniest cat women. Look at them. Look how horny they are. I can feel the heat coming off the monitor.
lines carry the echoes of their cosmic origins, their mission of creation, and their role as guardians of Vega's celestial harmony. They stand as a living testament.
That looks like a Borg line. That's our Borg Lyran. This is the Lyran after they've been conquered by the Borg. That's 7 of 9 lives. I'll show myself out.
To the boundless potential of beings to shape the universe and leave an indelible mark upon Tatao. They stand as a living testament to the boundless potential of beings to shape the universe and leave an indelible mark upon the tapestry of existence. Vegans. In the embrace of Star Vega's celestial radiance, the Lyran vegans came to life as the galaxy's inaugural humanoid species, etching their presence as pioneers of form and consciousness.
Why can't they have some meat? This one just looks like a Nordic, though. It doesn't look like a Lyran. But what evolutionary pressures would cause something to turn into a cat but not be a predator? That's what I'm asking. That's where I'm confused. That's where you're losing me, pal.
Forged through the delicate symphony of Lyran ingenuity and the genetic tapestry of Vega's local ape-like beings, they stand as the embodiment of cosmic collaboration, a living testament to the boundless potential of life. The canvas of their existence is brushed with hues that whisper of the stars' grandeur. Their skin, ranging from alabaster's grace to the gentle touch of soapstone, is a tribute to Vega's serene embrace. The cheeks, touched by the delicate shades of rose gold. In the embrace of Star Vega's celestial radiance, the Lyran vegans came to life as the galaxy's inaugural humanoid species, etching their presence as pioneers of form and consciousness. Forged through the delicate symphony of Lyran.
How many white people alien races are there now? Right? Is this all? Are you just going to keep hitting me with more? And we got bird people coming up too. Holy shit. This is getting nuts, my friends. But we can't go through all of these. We got to stick with the cat people. Why is it telling us about all this stuff if these aren't cat people? I want to know about the cat people. I mean, we will eventually get to these, whoever these white people are, and maybe these squiddly diddly folks that look like the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the bird people who look like the opium bird. We'll eventually get to them, but come on, we need more Lyran. More Lyran, please. Let's see. So we had another video about the Lyrans right here. And we're going to open that one up now. So that we can see their animated 3D Lyrans. I want to see the Lyran. Yeah. Oh. It's just going to be with music. Lame. And it's just showing off their AI skills. Is there more information on the Lyrans? Because here's what we'll do. We'll type it in. I swear there was a longer video on it. I guess it does show the white lady in there and the bird people on the thumbnail, but I digress. There's some kind of war going on between the cat people and the lizard people, and I need to know how it's going to go down. So we're going to find out the Lyran legacy.
The felines and carrions, where two of the earliest and most advanced interstellar civilizations arrived in the 9th sector of the universe, in which our galaxy lies. This period marked a significant turning point in cosmic history, as these civilizations settled in distinct star systems, giving rise
the bird people and the cat people
to new and influential species. The carrions, with their avian features and expertise in biology, chose the Draco.
That's a hell of a good name. Oh, Bugbot stinging people. Oh, like they're from Vega. So when it's saying vegans, when it's saying vegans, it means they're from Vega. Oh, I know. I'm being purposely obtuse about it. Just like when they were saying it earlier, when they were saying Vega, and I was pretending they were saying Vegas. I'm just being obtuse to be funny. Sorry if that's
ecosystem as their new home. The felines, known for their rapid evolution and technological advancements, found their destiny in the Lyra system. Their journey, driven by a quest for knowledge and exploration, led them to this pivotal location in the cosmos.
It's pivotal.
In Lyra, they employed their advanced understanding of physics, space travel, and empathic abilities to interact with and influence the local life forms.
You think that, vegans... I should go to Vegas again, though. Now I'm thinking about that. I can't focus. Because I saw it, I drove through it, but I didn't get to stop and do anything fun.
It was here, in the nurturing cradle of Lyra, that the felines played a central role in the genesis of the first human beings. The first creatures resembling...
So, to Aunt Jur's question, obviously, according to this mythology, we were all put here by cat people.
Humans to be produced by the felines in their founder's likeness were the vegan Lyrans. The felines' goal was to create and spread life to the cosmos. By genetically altering the genetics of the local white ape-like creatures on the planet Vega in the Lyra constellation, which is around 25 light-years from Earth, the felines were able to complete this assignment. This genetic engineering produced...
They made humans.
A humanoid race with physical traits that resemble those of humans, but differ slightly, such as a larger cranium, larger eyes, and lengthened digits. Similar to how life on Earth evolved through natural selection and genetic mutation, the Lyrans also developed on their home world. The Lyrans eventually created a highly developed civilization with cutting...
So, this is on Vega, but... I should start making fanfic about nearby star systems, I guess. Hot steamy. Maybe white people, aliens, are the explanation of how white people got here. I mean, if our origins are Northern Africa, people with dark skin may be lighter colored people got here via aliens. We're all aliens. The truth is coming out.
Edge technology and spiritual insight.
This is...
They have a strong...
This is 999 trillion years ago to 900 million years ago. Yeah, just a thriving metropolis.
Connection to the cosmos and the natural world, and are extremely loving and sympathetic creatures. Now, these are the primary species that inhabited the Lyran constellation.
John, I think Aunt Jura loves bugs. I love bugs too, though, so I'm on the same page.
The felines. Emerging from the cosmic currents of a distant universe, the Lyran felines are ethereal travelers whose origins trace back to realms beyond human comprehension. Born from the swirling stardust of distant galaxies, they carry the enigmatic wisdom of cosmic wanderers who traverse the celestial expanse to find their home.
They got nipples too, so they only have the two breasts. So they're not like cats where they have like a little row of nipples down the front. They just have the two.
Home in the star Vega, nestled within the Lyran constellation. The Lyran felines arrived in Vega with a mission woven into the very fabric of their being, to become the architects of life in a new realm. Guided by their innate connection to the rhythms of the cosmos, they embarked on a journey of creation, shaping the...
I kind of feel like anything that evolved within the universe has an innate connection to the universe, because that's what innate means. Like, you have an innate connection, right?
Landscapes, nurturing the flora and fostering the emergence of diverse life forms. Theirs was a role of profound significance as they became the custodians of Vega's harmony, ensuring that every creature thrived in symbiotic balance, with a regal presence that evokes both majesty
right, yes, this is older than the universe. Older than the star of Vega, for sure.
And grace. The Lyran felines possess a form reminiscent of the noble lions of Earth's savannas. Their powerful bodies are sculpted.
Why does it switch to the ones that look like a house cat when it starts talking about it being them being like from looking like lions? Seriously, like literally switched when he said that.
Reminiscent of the noble lions of Earth's savannas.
Right?
Their powerful bodies are sculpted by the very forces of the universe, each muscle a testament to their celestial lineage.
So, if anybody watches Invincible, I guess this is what Battle Beast is. Battle Beast is sort of my daddy, though, so I'm here for it.
Their fur, a masterpiece of colors unseen in the terrestrial realm, shimmers with hues that mirror the birth of stars, from the deepest blues to the most radiant golds, weaving a tapestry of celestial splendor. Their eyes, radiant portals to ancient realms, hold the wisdom of galaxies, with colors that range from the serene blue of tranquil oceans to the vibrant green of flourishing forests.
Is this saying the same thing it said before? Kind of seems like it.
Their gaze reveals the secrets of ages spent exploring
I remember they were talking about their gaze.
Cosmic sea. Intricate patterns and markings adorn their fur, each symbol and line a testament to their celestial heritage.
Hold on.
These cosmic tattoos tell the story of their journey through distant galaxies.
Is this the same video with a different name?
The constellations they crossed, and the energies they harnessed to become the architects of Vega's beauty. The Lyran feline's physical form, reminiscent of noble lions, defies simple categorization, blurring the boundaries between the terrestrial and the cosmic. With every movement,
I think
they
this
evoke...
is just the same video twice with different names. It seems like that's the situation that we're dealing with here. Let's see. We'll go to the Starseed Sanctuary and see what they have to say about it. Welcome to the Starseed Sanctuary with Dr. Heather up here in the corner. Is going to teach us about Lyra.
Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome to this very special video where we're going to be talking about Lyra and Vega, starseeds, and the cradle of galactic civilization. So welcome to my channel, the Starseed Sanctuary. I am Dr. Heather. And if you're new here, I'm so glad that you found this video.
Hi, Dr. Heather. I'm Dr. Bree.
And it would mean a lot if you just took a minute and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of the fabulous cosmic content I create to help you on your healing and awakening journey. So let's get into it. This is a very special video, you guys. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Lyra constellation, the stars of Lyra, some deep space objects near Lyra, of course, some galactic history of Lyra and Vega.
We need that galactic history.
Felines, avians, and humans. Oh my.
Maybe I should have started here. How far do we go before we start talking about the kitty cats? Okay. Yeah, here we are. I see a kitty cat. All right.
All of the different species that hail from this star system. We are going to talk a bit about the Lyra-Draco War, the galactic diaspora that happened thereafter. We're also going to cover Lyra and Vega starseeds, their traits, their auras, as well as how to discover your soul's connection to this ancient starseed family by unlocking some Lyra and Vega codes in your star chart, as well as the Lyra alignment. So a very comprehensive video here. Okay, so let's jump into it. So Lyra, also sometimes pronounced Lyra, is a small constellation in size, about 52nd in size, in the northern sky. And it represents the lyre, a musical instrument that is often associated with the myth of Orpheus, the Greek musician and poet. This constellation was cataloged by Ptolemy in this.
Yes, it was colonized by vampires, but that comes much later in the mythology.
2nd century. We have the Lyrid meteor shower, aka the April Lyrids, which is one of the oldest.
Let's not have drama. Come on, guys. Everybody be chill. Be chill. You're being weird. Stop being weird. Just be chill.
Known meteor showers with records dating back more than 2,600 years. And the Lyrids peak around April 21st to 24th each year in the Northern Hemisphere. beautiful if you can get out beyond the light pollution and see some shooting stars. The brightest star in Lyra, borrowed from medieval Latin Vega, it was later called Vega, meaning the descent.
Look at that,
trigger warning.
There's a trigger warning for the Lyra Draco War. It's a trigger warning. Do not get triggered by this war.
I've held off on creating this
between
video
space aliens. It could trigger you
sooner. It's such an important foundational information about the different galactic species and starseeds is because it's very difficult to talk about, because those of us that have had Lyran or Vegan timelines, past incarnations there, it's such a heartbreaking story for those of us that remember our lifetimes there.
Oh,
because
you might have had a past life as a Lyran felinoid or perhaps a bird person. Maybe you were a Draco and you remember the war, because we are all resurrected furries. We are interstellar furries.
This might trigger some memories. So I just want to let you know that I've done my best possible job to create some content in this next section that accurately depicts what happened, that isn't too graphic, while still being truthful to honoring this narrative. If at any point in time you feel triggered, please pause, stop, do some grounding, and you can come back to this later. Okay. So let's dive in. So the Lyra Draco War. So reptilian beings originally came here to this universe from another universe after the avian and feline races were already developing here billions of years ago.
They aren't from here. Reptilians are not from here. They're from a distant galaxy. They're others. They are poisoning the lifeblood of the galaxy, right? Poisoning the lifeblood of the galaxy.
Races established themselves in Draco and Orion constellation regions here in this galaxy, and then set out to conquer other worlds. They created massive destruction of such large magnitude that they were removed from their original universe and kind of just deposited here in this universe in Draco constellation, soon becoming known as the Draconian or the Draco Reptilian Warriors. Not to be confused with the original dragon seraphim or dragon elementals, who are generally benevolent or neutral.
They're reptilians, but they're not those reptilians. These are the good ones. There's some good ones and there's some bad ones, right? So this race is good and that race is bad. That's what we understand from the star seeds.
The original inhabitants of the Draco constellation. The Draconian original lineage is a race known as the Siakar. They are the highest of that system, the Siakar elite, and they have a caste system of lower rung reptilians as well.
You know, AI's come a long way since this. Maybe you could redo this video with better AI art, because these are like really, really early on stable diffusion sort of images.
Approximately 572 million years ago in this current timeline, several huge crafts appeared in the sky in the Lyran star system, and reptilians from Draco appeared. These two races had previously thought that they were alone in the galaxy, and then they came into contact with each other. And we're talking about like two very opposite races in many different ways, two very different.
And this is the Ediacaran period, so like there is life on Earth at this point, very, very primitive life while this is going on, I guess.
Groups. When the Draconians came and saw these beautiful paradise utopian planets that the Lyrans had cultivated with all of their abundance in food and water and natural resources, the Draconians, of course, wanted to conquer and control it, as they do, as their own planets were quite barren. And the Draconians actually intended on deceiving the Lyrans with the offer of a sort of treaty, an exchange of the resources from the abundant Lyran planets in return.
So they did the Pocahontas story and the Avatar story, right? You know, Lyran and a Draconian fall in love, and then
turn for some advanced technology from Draco. The Lyrans, although eager to obtain better technology, were a little bit hesitant to interact with the reptilians at first. They were so different, their energy was so different, and they really wanted to know more about the Draconians before they agreed to this treaty.
Well, they're using race in the context like they use on Star Trek or Star Wars, right? There's different races of aliens. But yeah, no, in real life there can't be good races and bad races. Yeah, I'm trying to punctuate how this sort of fiction, even if it's fiction or fantasy or whatever you want to call it, these people think they're actually channeling it from the stars. They actually think they're getting messages from the stars. But regardless, that using evil races and good races is problematic. And I like to punctuate that in fantasy settings, like in Tolkien's world, right? Like, are all orcs evil, right? Are all orcs a bad race? Or are they a product of their environment and society that they're brought up in, right? Which is, you know, for instance, in Mordor, where they're basically lived as hard lives as slaves, right? Poor food, air, and water quality. It's called our eugenics past, where the races were thought to be separate species, right? Yeah, like humans, that black people evolved from African apes, right? And then that Europeans evolved from like Neanderthals, and then Asians evolved from Asian apes, and then they would say that Native Americans evolved from a South American ape that's extinct, and that's why when they have found the Delois ape, which is really just a spider monkey with its tail cut off, that really helped them with their eugenics movement.
And in their naivete, they agreed to allow the Draconians to explore their planets in the hope of getting to know this race better. Like, hey, come stay with us for a little bit. We'll vibe you out. Maybe we'll sign that treaty kind of thing. Well, the Draconians took this opportunity to scope out the weak areas and lack of defense systems in the Lyran planets. The Lyrans had never known war. They'd never been to war. They didn't have weapons. That wasn't even something in their conscious awareness. And so the Draconians took advantage of that and subsequently ambushed and annihilated many of the 14 planets in the Lyran system. As the Lyrans were a peaceful race that never knew war, violence, and deception, they were just basically defenseless.
There's a few different origins for the orcs that Tolkien toyed with. If you read Unfinished Tales, there's a point where orcs were actually, he thought about having orcs be like evil spirits that were put inside elves. So there's a lot of different interpretations, but I think it's much more interesting if we allow the orcs to be humanized, right? To have children. There's actually a part in I guess it's the part where they see the Oliphant, where they see the Mameluck, right? That Sam and Frodo see it for the first time, and they see the guy get shot off of the Mameluck and fall to the ground dead, right? By they're basically the Rangers of the South, but by Faramir and his company. And Sam looks at the man laying on the ground in his strange clothes and strange garments and strange skin tone and facial features, and he thinks about if that man would rather have been back home wherever he came from, with his family, with his loved ones, doing anything else but fighting a war for tyrannical kings. And it's a really moving moment that humanizes the armies of Mordor just for a second. Just for a second, it humanizes the South Realm, the Haradrim, which were basically Tolkien's stand-in for black people, right? It's an interesting take. I don't know. The Haradrim, they kind of toe the line between an Arabic and an African civilization, depending on interpretation and things like that. But generally, that's how they're presented. I digress.
And with no weapons to defend themselves. And over 50 million years, over 50 million Lyran humans were slaughtered. It looked at this point in history that the Draconians began to look at humans as food sources and slaves.
Well, I mean, we are delicious. We taste like bacon, I hear. But If you want to enslave us, you have to wait your turn because we're already enslaved. You're way too early right now, but when we do come around, we'll be enslaving each other for a long time before you guys can come enslave us. Yeah, Herod means south. Yeah, and the Haradrim means the rim means the people of, or the it's more like a military kind of use, like the Rohirrim, where the military of Rohan. But you could call all the people of Rohan Rohirrim too. But generally they call them people of Rohan, and Rohirrim is reserved for the military forces.
What resulted was the biggest catastrophic event in this galaxy, and quite possibly the entire universe. The attack forced the Lyrans to evacuate survivors from their planets, to migrate out into the galaxy, to develop weapons and technologies, to acquire water. And most Lyran refugees ended up settling in the Pleiades, Andromeda, and Apollonia. The majority from Vega ended up in Sirius and Orion, although many star systems became new homes.
There's my green people dropping footprints and stuff. I was wondering where all the channel members were this morning. Oversleeping. For shame. For shame.
To the Lyra and Vegan survivor.
I want, for everybody who showed up late, I want you to write a 200-word essay on the Draco-Lyran War. Okay? That's just what the class is getting assigned.
First, including Cassiopeia, Cygnus, the Hyades, Mars, Maldek, Venus, and even Earth.
That's not wrong. Yeah, even the women of Rohan were trained in combat, as we can see with badass Eowyn slaying that Witch King. Yeah, I am no man. Bam. But she had a hobbit helper too.
Understanding our ancient Lyran and Vegan lineage and our relationship to the galaxy helps us expand what it means to be human. To be proud of who we were, what we have survived, and how we continue to evolve, to be resilient, to be true survivors in that nature. This goes way back, way back.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Lyran starseeds. So expression of Lyran energy is going to vary widely for each starseed.
Here's how to find out if you're a cat person, I guess. These are the signs.
However, they do tend to share these common traits.
You might be a Lyran starseed if you're lucky.
So Lyran starseeds here on Earth do very well in physical form, far more than other types of starseeds, because they have fortified that physical vessel. They really actually do well being in 3D, being physically active, working manual labor jobs. That's something that just they do well. They know it. Their soul has done it for so long.
I have her sped up a little bit, so it's probably making her voice a little more irritable or irritating than normal.
Lyran starseeds also have this very well-defined divine or sacred masculine energy. They enjoy and need physical activity regularly. If they're not getting regular, like hard physical activity, hard workouts, that can really deplete them.
Maya says, for the record, I wasn't late. I always pipe up when people are using eugenics on the internet. Yeah. So when we start talking about the different races of humanoids, yeah, they actually mean species, but because we have refined that word since it was inception, but it was never used right in fantasy and sci-fi settings, right? But they also make the different species of aliens interfertile, which is a little weird. But when it comes to the Lyrans, though, and things like that, they're in a human body now. You've been transformed, but you can still have super cat powers and be adventurous and not fearful.
Almost soul crushing. So, like, more than most types of starseeds, they really need good hard exercise regularly. Lyran starseeds are also very much drawn to the element of fire and earth. They are very grounded, but they are very tenacious, right? They're very connected to spirit in this protective way. They're also more closely connected to and or remember lifetimes during Atlantis, more of a tendency to embody Atlantean energy, which also has a little bit more of that divine or sacred masculine.
Sapphire asks, do I get my Witch King killing powers with HRT, or was I born with them? You've always been a woman, Sapphire. Right? The ability to kill the Witch King just comes with you being a woman inherently. Ember says, I'm tired too. I blame SR for keeping me up so late. Yeah, they had a NanoCon discussion last night.
Feeling vibe to it. They're very adventurous. They're usually not fearful, very grounded, well-defined root chakras, and enjoy the pleasures of life. They can sometimes come across as serious or stoic, but they're actually very kind, very optimistic, very encouraging. They're excellent leaders and problem solvers, and they have a keen ability to remain calm during crisis. Many may even gravitate toward work that involves helping trauma survivors, especially betrayal trauma. They experienced as souls the original betrayal. So they're also very...
Oh, so this is like their Bible's Cain and Abel story, the ultimate original betrayal, because those Draco folks, they were like, hey, we're going to be your friends. Psych, we're going to eat you and your people. Because the Lyrans lived with, the Lyran Felinoids lived with humanoids. Or they were humanoid, but they lived with, like humans too. Like people like us. And bird people, apparently.
Sensitive to that. They do not take kindly to those that have betrayed them. It's like, you're done, right? When someone betrays you, it's like, that's a deal breaker. All right. So Lyran starseeds do have a dominant aura color in general of bright pink with some violet elements, some little tendrils of violet light. They tend to have a very strong connection to all the chakras, especially those lower three, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the earth star as well. They can be standoffish before they get to know you, but in general, they're pretty trusting. They have kind of like this nice childlike.
And you can claim, I mean, I can see all the auras, you know, you can be like, oh, your aura is orange. Your aura is amber. Amber is the color of my energy. Yeah, that's some Sublime. Not Sublime. 311. Yeah.
Like playful energy, especially if they feel comfortable around you. Some might even seem a little bird-like or fairy-like with features that might mimic that, while others do have more of a feline purring quality to them. Often their favorite animals are cats, lions, tigers, and all sorts of birds. And keywords for Lyran starseeds are ingenuity, survivor, pure heart, and flexible.
So, if you are ingenuitive, if you have ingenuity, we'll say that. If you have ingenuity, if you're a survivor, if you're pure heart and flexible, maybe you're a Lyran. What do you guys think? So, this Starseed Sanctuary, let's look deeper into this channel. Okay, the Starseed Sanctuary, home of Starseed astrology, quantum alchemy, and Akashic enhancements. You get a monthly membership for spiritual warriors. Oh, those are their... Oh, they got books, too. Look, they got books. They got a newsletter. Astrology courses. Quantum alchemy. My website and blog. We're going to go there. Starseed Sanctuary. There's our host. Welcome to the Starseed Sanctuary and the whimsical, weird, eccentric, eclectic, mystically magical, multi-dimensional frequency of me and my sacred biz designed for souls just like you. I am thrilled to announce that I have fully retired from working in a broken system of mental health to focus on my divine soul mission. I am here to light the way for us to reclaim sovereignty, deeply heal, activate our innate superpowers, and build new Earth timeline together. So, and then she has all her workshops and books and stuff that she does. But you notice there's not a lot about her magical species of cat people listed here. Oh, so Heather's House of Healing. So she's got a lot of, she's hustling. Girl is hustling. Yeah. I don't just offer sacred services like starseed astrology, Akashic record reading, and quantum alchemy. I also teach my clients and students the exact methods I use so they can feel empowered to do the work for themselves and others. Girl, you don't give away your trade. You got to be able to make that money. You got to hustle. Is you a real doctor? Did it say you were a real doctor? I've worked in the field of mental health, addiction treatment, and the healing art for my entire adult life. I really love helping others live their best life, work through trauma, and find their soul purpose. I worked in the trenches of community mental health in Humboldt in San Francisco County for 12 years and had my own private practice for 8 years, specializing in holistic and intuitive energy healing for HSP, highly sensitive persons, empaths, starseeds, light workers, mystics, spiritual seekers, and fellow healers. It is too bad that I have a conscience and cannot grift on people, because I absolutely could pull this starseed nonsense off, right? I think I could convince people that I can see into other dimensions and read their auras and all that bullshit. But I wouldn't do that because I'm not an asshole, which seems to be part of the requirements. But what do you guys think about the starseed phenomenon? Do you want to learn more about the different starseed races and species out there? The different cat people and bird people and lizard people and elves and what else are there? There's all kinds of, according to, like I said, with the Stephen Greer video with Patty a couple weeks ago, there's allegedly 69 species that were known of aliens that were known to humans. So were these one of them? Yeah. Isn't Akashic that healthy cereal? So the Akashic records was like, it's in occult communities. It's like you can meditate and astral project into the astral realm, and that's where the Akashic records exist, which are a library of all knowledge ever known throughout the universe. Start another channel, call it Breeze Get Grift for the Generous Idiots. Yeah, and I'll teach you all about how we are all super evolved bees from the planet Bison. Yeah, you're all bees from Bison, except for the crab people. Yeah, there's bee people and crab people and leaf people that are made out of leaves, and they're evil. There's the evil oil executive people. Yeah. That's a species that can be inherently evil, right? The evolved oil executives. We can call that our evil species. That's the antagonist in our world building, and we'll start our own starseed mythology, except with as Bender would say, with blackjack and hookers. All right, well, that's been this Cryptic Corner talking Lyran starseeds. Did it meet your expectations? Was it everything you hoped it would be? Let me know in the comments down below if you have your own thoughts on the starseed phenomena, or meditation, or past life regression of alien planets and alien wars with reptiles. Let me know in the comments down below, and we will engage about it. We will have that conversation. But yeah, until next time, please remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you later. All right, live from the Hive, people. Do not go anywhere, because this isn't the end of the show. It's just the end of Cryptic Corner. Just a segment that I have to do an ending for. Maybe I should stop doing that ending and just do a pre-recorded ending. All hail Hive and hail Planet Bison. Yes, Planet Bison. That's where all of the star seeds in my universe come from. Good morning, Brentley. Star seed sounds like a My Little Pony. Yeah. Star seed would be an Earth pony who does farming like Big Mac, and it's not over yet, Brentley. Yeah. You didn't miss it. No, I do the show in segments, right? Like I'll cover the cryptic corner topic, right, for an hour, and then I will shift on. Then I'll do like a closing for that segment, because I also produce that as a standalone video, which I've decided is going to be my new lead-in for Charlatans Web. So on Friday evenings we'll have Cryptic Corner on at about 4, right? And then we'll have that roll right into Charlatans Web afterwards. So that's the live production I do on Friday night. So that's the plan right now. And it worked out pretty good with this Friday, having it right before. So I will probably continue to do that for the foreseeable future. And Brentley, I've been meaning to reach out to you about coming on Charlatans Web. So is it best to contact you? We're Facebook friends, or would you prefer that I message you on Discord? It's however you prefer. Anyway, we are going to be after this is done. Don't forget, we are moving right over to Holy Spirits, Dr. Ben's new show, where we can watch the comedy stylings of Sidney Davis Jr. in Secular Rarity as they tell us drunken Bible stories, or drunken religious stories. It doesn't have to be a Bible story. Yeah. So check that out. All right. I'm going to take an intermission, though, because I do got to go potty. Right? I got to go potty, and I'm going to see if Ben can give me access to redirect to his stream. Otherwise, I'll just manually send you guys over there. I drop in the whole link a whole bunch of times. But yeah, Holy Spirit up next. All right, so I'm going to take my intermission. I will be back in 3 minutes. This is the koala countdown, so you'll have a timer to when I'm going to be back. So if you need to get up, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, grab a fresh cup of Joe, or switch over to whatever else you're drinking after your morning Joe, go right ahead. But I will be right back.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala.
Poor little thing was kicked out of the tree. You can come to our tree. Yeah, come to our tree. Poor little thing. There's plenty of trees. Come on. You're a meanie.
Hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of our Weekend Weird. I'm just over here trying to get us redirected to get the redirect to work, but it's still not going through. I don't know if I need to refresh it, maybe. Because I do want to send everybody over to Ben, if I can. Yeah, it still says privilege. They have to add me to their privileges, so I'll have to manually send everybody over there, which is fine, no problem. All right, let's get this show on the road. Welcome to this week's This Week in Weird. As mentioned at the top of the show, we ran a poll, and this week, for today, we have decided that cursed treasures are the best answer for our Saturday afternoon blues. So, well, at least it's Saturday afternoon for some of y'all. All right. So, to cover this, I'm not going to show you their channel. We've done this channel half a dozen times at this point, but we are looking at, where'd it go? There we go. This is the Fancy Banana, which is one of these top 20 blah 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 pages with 2.84 million subscribers. One of these huge channels, but they're gonna give us the top 20 cursed treasures, and we're gonna discover lost treasure. This is kind of a follow-up to the cursed gems that we did a few weeks back. So, you know.
Here's one that is almost universally appealing, but the trouble with treasure is that stuff is so... The idea of finding lost treasure is one that is almost universally appealing, but the trouble with treasure is that stuff is so often cursed as well as lost. Sod's law that you find something super exciting and really valuable, and then you get hexed by a deadly curse and get a range of hideous diseases and fall down a well. And it really does seem to go that way for some of these really unlucky people. From the curse of the mummy's tomb to a
we're going to actually cover the curse of the mummy's tomb here too. Nice.
Diamond that wants to see you dead. Here are 20 cursed treasures that ended lives.
20 cursed treasures. Yeah, it's one of them channels that's like, hit subscribe or this centipede will crawl on your face.
Number 20. Roman dagger finding led to discovery of lost battlefield. A metal detector enthusiast was poking about in a field in Switzerland when he happened across a fancy old Roman dagger. The dagger itself was decorated with inlaid silver and brass and was, by all accounts, kind of interesting, but most interesting, perhaps, was what archaeologists found when they arrived on the scene following the discovery.
You better get to the curse.
The team of archaeologists began to uncover hundreds of artifacts. They had found a lost battlefield from 2,000 years ago. This was where Roman legionnaires had fought against Dacian warriors as the Roman Empire was seizing power across the whole region. The dagger, which had originally been,
as the Roman empires want to do,
unearthed, was likely dropped in the battle by a Roman legionary who may have died on this battlefield. So, are there ghost battalions and
I think it's just legionnaire. Is it legionary? Have I been saying it wrong? I mean, I say things wrong all the time, but is it legionary? I always thought it was legionnaire.
Ancient weapons seeking revenge across the Alps? Probably not, but this whole area was a site of extensive fighting between the Alpine tribes, who became the Raetians, and the invading Roman army, so maybe the digging up of a lost theater of war will reawaken the spirits. Before we go on...
So, like, I think most of the descendants are probably mixed, all mixed together now. Let me see if I can add it on here now. Let's see. Click. All right. Yes. All right. There we go. Now it will automatically redirect us. Awesome.
Like this video,
Thank you, Ben.
smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face.
I did not know he was going to actually do that. Holy shit. I called it.
You're sleeping. Number 19. The Curse of King Tut. One of the more famously cursed ancient treasures of all times was that of the tomb of Tutankhamun. Discovered... the Curse of King Tut is so volatile that 60 years later, even if you've escaped all its machinations, it'll kill you with old age. On November 4th of 1922 by a team of archaeologists led by Howard Carter. The long-lost tomb of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh had been left undisturbed for almost 3,000 years. When the tomb was opened and entered by Carter and his team, rumors began to circulate that the curse of the pharaoh would befall all who disturbed the boy king's resting place.
Oh, that reminds me. Since you mentioned the bees, Jester, I'm going to give you this. Hopefully it'll work. I don't know. Legionnaire is correct. You have your shit together better than this guy.
Bees! Bees everywhere! They're huge and they're sting crazy!
Yes, fear the bees.
Now, what truth could there have been in this curse? Well, as it happens, there was some sudden deaths reported amongst those involved in the opening of the tomb, and this has further fueled the legend of King...
By sudden, they mean people that were involved with this passed away over the next half a century. Those are the sudden deaths, I'm not even kidding. Yeah.
Tut's curse. Lord Carnarvon, the guy who had financed Carter's expedition to seek out treasures and excavate in the Valley of the Kings, met an untimely end in March of 1923. His death was long considered mysterious, but the thing that isn't reported is that he had suffered from poor health for many years and appears to have died from malaria or something similar after he arrived in Egypt. Not so much evidence of a curse. Then there were other catastrophes that befell people involved in the excavation. Howard Carter gave his friend Sir Bruce Ingham a paperweight which contained a mummified hand, and then this unfortunate chap's house.
Yeah, if you get a mummy hand. But people, the sick part is, yeah, we have like King Tut and stuff, right? But like in the 19th century, we would just like find mummies and people would just bring them back to Europe and they'd unwrap them at parties. And sometimes they would eat them and shit. It was really weird. Mummy parties. And they would take they take all the artifacts and stuff and keep them in their little private collections. But you could buy a mummy. You could just like purchase one and keep it in your private collection. Really, really fucking weird that for a long time people were doing. And this you know, to some extent still goes on today, but like, what's that movie, Creepshow, where the guy buys a mummy, where it's like Steve Buscemi's character buys a mummy and uses it to kill like Christian Slater and Julia Moore. Yeah. Don't steal jewels from India. Yeah, when we did the haunted... I hope this isn't all haunted jewels, too. That would suck, because we're going to skip over the Hope Diamond since we already covered that. Yeah, there's plenty of other stuff that we haven't covered. There's like... but there's another one here that we've covered before, the Delhi Purple Sapphire. So we're going to have some other stuff to cover as well, but we're going to skip over the ones that we covered on the jewels.
Burned down. He tried to rebuild, and it was immediately flooded. An American financier visited the tomb in 1923, only to fall sick immediately afterwards and then died a few months later. Another archaeologist was so struck with fear of the mummy's curse that was offing people all around him that he took his own life, allegedly citing the curse as his reason. Over and over again, countless adjacent individuals and their families suffered early or violent deaths, but Carter, the man who had first opened the tomb, was spared. He lived to the ripe old age of 64 and then died of cancer. There's a theory that
the King Tut gave him cancer, you see. Oh, hello, Thomas. Welcome. Seen some in like tiny museums and old manor houses in Colorado. Yeah, there's like little private museums and private like oddity collections and things like that. They'll have real Egyptian artifacts because someone bought a freaking mummy. Or someone could buy Egyptian artifacts too, just without the mummy, but still you can see mummies in private collections.
That Carter himself actually began the rumor of the curse of the pharaoh, and it seems that in
Tori.
order to control the media
Hi, Tori.
frenzy around the discovery, he concocted the story to keep the hordes at bay. But that's just what people covering up an evil supernatural curse would say now, isn't it? Number 18. The Hope.
We already covered the Hope Diamond, like I said, so we're gonna skip right over this one. If you want to see the Hope Diamond, let me see. It'll be jewels. Yeah, it was it premiered just like 2 weeks ago, so but yeah, you can go watch the Cursed Jewels video if you want to see this one. But I like the diversity on this playlist other than treading over some stuff we've already covered. So we're going to skip over the Hope Diamond and we're going to go to the Lost Dutchman's.
Dutchman Gold Mine. A tale from the American West with all the good stuff, gold and curses. Oh, my favorite. The legend of the Lost Dutchman mine has been told again and again throughout the generations for over 120 years. It's a tantalizing story, but also a dangerous one. It has all those hallmarks of a classic mystery. There are many tales throughout time of great riches that are protected by a curse, or that remain just out of reach for all.
Do you think I should go out and look for the Lost Dutchman mine? Is that something that we should do as a hive? Because I'm already in the Southwest, right? I can head over to the Superstition Mountains, which is like the best mountain range name ever, and we can go hunt for the Lost Dutchman's gold until I like perish in the desert under mysterious circumstances. Mysterious circumstances. Right?
All who attempt to find them. And the search for this mythical gold mine became one man's obsession to the point that it literally killed him dead. Jesse Capon was fixated on finding his fortune in the remote and dangerous sounding Superstition Mountains of Arizona, and he did indeed meet his fate, but regrettably, that did not involve any gold. The poor unfortunate soul died while seeking his fortune, and then
I kind of wish that I could go to the Superstition Mountains soon, because now that's like a goal of mine. That's something I want to do before I die, is see the Superstition Mountains, because they have a lot of alien, Bigfoot, Skinwalker, lost treasure, all that good stuff. It's like maybe a poor man's Nahanni Valley.
And his body was not found for 3 years. Ugh. Number 16. Cahuenga Pass. This was a stretch of trail that was followed by early Californian explorers and was then incorporated into El Camino Real, which was the north-south route through colonial California. But the story of its curse began in 1864, when a fugitive by the name of Marino
Santa Barbara, hold on, let me look at that map.
Began in 1864, when a fugitive...
Okay, so Los Angeles, Santa Barbara. Okay.
by the name of Marino, alleged to have buried a small fortune alongside the trail. The treasure, which he's believed to have placed there, included gold, diamonds, and pearls, amongst other precious artifacts.
Or should I go find this treasure? I should just go find all these treasures. I'll be loaded. Let's go treasure hunting.
But he stole it from an ill-fated group of agents that had set out to use it to buy guns to fight against the monarchy in Mexico. In a complicated tale of dangerous deeds and sudden and mysterious deaths, it seemed as though almost everyone who came into contact with the treasure met an untimely end. So it happened that Marino had a bad dream and felt that the treasure was indeed cursed, so he buried it to try and escape the jinx. He told a friend about the treasure, but then he died suddenly anyways. His friend then headed out to retrieve the
you can't just, once you pick up the cursed treasure, you can't just like get rid of the treasure and get rid of the curse. Haven't these people, did these people really, before they even started messing with the cursed gold, they should have watched Pirates of the Caribbean. It explains cursed gold very clearly. You have to put it back in the chest where the chest was. You can't just toss it away. Remember when they threw Bootstrap Bill overboard and he was wearing the coin as a necklace? Remember? And so they had to get Will Turner's blood to break the curse. So, yeah, just food for thought.
But guess what? Yes, he collapsed and died. And on it all went. Everyone who came close to the treasure or even tried to find it either died unexpectedly or ran away in fear when they heard of the curse. Then in
if we borrow Steph's boat, it'll be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
1939, a big team would head out to perform a large dig of the area, but after 24 days and the movement of over 100 tons of earth, they still had nothing. Again, people died, so no more permits were allowed until 1974, when a one-day permit was granted to William W. Boyle. He found no treasure, but by some stroke of remarkable fortune, he actually lived to tell the tale. Number 15.
He only had the one day. Only the one day.
The cursed dollars. The reason that people talk of the cursed dollar is a bunch of financial jargon and complicated import and export guff that basically means that because the United States dollar is the global money, it's also less profitable somehow for Americans. Sounds like a lot of baloney, to be fair. Anyway, if you were to look at the stuff on the planet that had likely ended more lives than anything else ever, would it actually be?
I'm kind of interested to see what it's like to slide down a stack of money, though. Fucking Joker burned all his. Anarchy incarnate. He's still the best Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker was just the best. Like what I expect from at least from a dark, gritty Joker. Yeah, it can't be more comic book funny Joker. Cesar Ramirez is great. He's goofy and stuff, but for like a menacing Joker character, Heath Ledger, definitely over Jared Leto anyway. And over Joaquin Phoenix too.
Money could be, perhaps in close competition with disease and famine, but the almighty dollar would be right up there as the cause of poverty, war, and murder. So perhaps, although this is a distinctly abstract concept, the cursed dollar is the most cursed of all the treasure that people have ever suffered and died for. What do
That's not wrong. I shouldn't say it's the worst, though. I mean, there's been a lot of gold reserves throughout history that have caused deaths in scores.
Do you fancy getting philosophical in the comments, or shall we just head on to the next topic? Number 14, the Oak Island treasure.
Obviously, the most famous of the treasures on this list, the Curse of Oak Island, which has been an ongoing series. How long was that TV series run for? Let's see. Curse of Oak Island television series. First episode 2014. Is it still ongoing though? No, 12 seasons, so yeah, it looks like it is.
Pursuit of lost treasure is an ages-old interest, and just because we live in these modern times with all those lavish technological...
I just think Jack Nicholson was too old at the time that he played the Joker to do it, to do a first meeting of Batman and Joker in that movie, in the '89 movie. Other than that, Jack did fine. As an older version of the Joker, as a more matured, older version of the Joker, he did great. He actually, the outfits and stuff are good. He didn't laugh quite enough, but
advancements and tools to help us search for such things, there's still an inherent romance in the hunt for buried treasure. And so, that explains the enduring popularity of a television series in which the main premise is the hunt for cursed treasure. The History Channel reality show, The Curse of Oak Island, has been running since 2014. It follows the exploits...
I guess I could have just waited instead of looking it up, but, you really milking 12 seasons out of people digging holes on an island.
Couple of brothers from Michigan named Marty and Rick Lagina as they attempt to find and retrieve the rumored lost treasure that's believed to be buried on Oak Island in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. The treasure is rumored to be worth 2 million British pounds, but it is the unraveling of a mystery and the promise of hope that the show offers that keeps people...
There are much more profitable treasures out there.
Interested in the seemingly endless quest. And that's just it really, isn't it? The pursuit of lost things is part of the charm rather than the total potential treasure. People just love a mystery after all. Number 13. Koh-i-Noor Diamond. The dangerous diamond has been afflicted with a curse, but this one is slightly different. It only affects men. Who knew curses were so choosy? The 186-carat Koh-i-Noor diamond belonged to India before it was looted by the British during all that colonizing that they were so fond
another jewel
of the island. It is quite unfortunate to be a
that we covered in the jewel video. Maybe I should have been more selective about which banana video I decided to pick, but here we are.
It's cursed. But to get cursed twice, you have to imagine that the place did something pretty dreadful. But this place was so flipping awful that it was cursed no fewer than 3 times. So that rather sucks now, doesn't it? The so-called thrice cursed island is also known as Charles Island. It was originally cursed by a tribe of Native Americans when the land was stolen from them by European invaders. They cursed any building...
Hell yeah! Curse them invaders.
...that was to be erected on the island, and anyone who would inhabit it. The second curse came from a man named Captain Kidd. He hid his treasure here before being captured and cursed the land to protect the treasure from anyone who might want to find it. The third curse was placed by a group of sailors in the 1700s who, like Kidd, had buried their loot on the island. The thing is, though, nobody's ever been able to unearth any of the lost treasure. Perhaps all those curses have had an effect after all.
It's a pretty small island, all things considered, too. So, yeah. Protected by a curse.
Number 11. The Curse of the Amber Room. Back in the early 18th century, a German sculptor and a Danish amber craftsman designed and built a chamber.
Oh my gosh, that song, I haven't heard that in forever. That used to be my outro music. It's called Danger Snow. It's on the YouTube Free Sounds video, but yeah. Our YouTube Free Sounds library, but yeah.
That was entirely decorated with amber panels that were backed with gold leaf and mirrors. The result was such a spectacle that it was widely touted as one of the...
Looks like Trump Tower to me, like Trump's Golden Toilet Palace or whatever.
The wonders of the world, if you like that sort of thing, and it was indeed very shiny, so lots of people enjoyed it. Anyways, this glowing amber room was originally created to be placed in a Prussian palace, but later found its way to Russia and the Catherine Palace when it was given as a gift to the Tsar from the Prussian king. It contained...
How you give somebody a room as a gift? You're like, here, let me tear out this chunk of my house and give it to you as a gift, or tear out a chunk of this building. Like, how's that work?
over 6 tons of amber and spanned 590 square feet, so it was quite the lavish gift. Long story short though, the Second World War would roll around, and a couple of centuries later, the whole jolly lot was looted by the Nazis and put on display back in Germany. But then after the eventual collapse of Nazi Germany and their defeat in 1945,
Yeah, wish I had a warning that you were going to use the N-word. Now we're going to get demonetized.
the whole thing again vanished. This time, nobody actually knows where it went, or indeed who took it. There has since been a reconstruction of the room created.
I guess I shouldn't call it the N-word, the NZ word, I guess. The Reich word. Shouldn't use the Reich word.
Catherine Palace, which was officially opened in 2003, but the original, if it does survive, has never reappeared. Number 10. Qin Shi Huang's tomb. No doubt
Qin Shi Huang. We got the Terracotta Army.
that when this army, known as the Terracotta Warriors, was first discovered, it likely made those that found them recoil in fear. It must have been a spooky sight indeed when, back in 1974, a couple of farmers found some pottery-like pieces on the ground and went to investigate further. This is when the tomb of China's first emperor would be uncovered, and as it was opened, it revealed an army of life-size sculptures. Oh, and it's also alleged to be cursed as well, so that's a fun one. Thousands of warriors and horses depicted in terracotta stand guard over the ancient tomb.
I think it's pretty badass. It's a weird use of terracotta, but like, it's an arts and crafts project, right? This is like ancient Chinese flash mob.
They were all sporting full armor and stand in a particularly menacing.
Misinterpretation says she's been to the terracotta to see the terracotta army. That's so cool.
Battle formation facing the east, as this was the direction that the emperor's enemies would come from. Incredibly, each of the sculptures is an individual. They have different facial features, hairstyles, and their ranks are made evident by their headgear. Each statue stands at around 6 feet tall, weighing up to 600 pounds. But the reason that archaeologists believe that these terracotta warriors were buried in this tomb is the ancient Chinese tradition of the afterlife. 3,000 years ago, the people of ancient China believed that when they died, they would exist in the afterlife, so the wealthy and the nobility of China wanted to take with them the things that they would need into the next world. That
Including all your servants, all your army.
included their servants. Yes, there was a tradition of burying the still living servants of royalty with them when they died. Horrifying and kind of impractical. So when the emperor died, I imagine it was likely to be really inconvenient if all the best soldiers also had to go with him. So the solution appears to have been to replace the living, breathing bodies with pottery depictions. No doubt.
That's yeah. Instead of murdering all of our military, let's just make sculptures of them. Seems like a reasonable idea for me. But will they work in the afterlife, or when the emperor gets to the afterlife, he's gonna be like, "Attack my army," and they just stand there. And he's gonna be like, "Well, fuck," you know. I don't. You know?
The army breathed a collective sigh of relief. Number 9. SS Central America. Back in 1857, the SS Central America, a 280-foot steamer ship, would be loaded up with coins and newly cast gold bars from mints in San Francisco, and it set sail to New York. It was the height of the California gold rush, and everyone was having a lovely time, but that was to be short-lived when the ship ran into a hurricane. Although some passengers were rescued from the stricken vessel, 423 would perish in what was then the worst maritime disaster of all time. The ship and its treasure was lost to the deep. In the late 1980s, though, sonar equipment would be used to locate the treasure, and some of it was actually recovered. This didn't go entirely without a hitch, though. One man tried to keep all the loot for himself, and the whole thing wound up as a mess of litigation for years. Ultimately, he ended up with nothing.
How is that a curse?
On the run from the U.S. Marshals and in hiding forevermore. Cursed.
Sounds like you're cursed more from being a greedy dick than you are from the treasure itself.
Treasure? Well, maybe it was just a dopey guy made mad by greed. That I'll leave up to you to decide. Number 8. The Bassano Vase. This is a bit of a weird one because this is a story of a cursed object, a vase to be precise, and it's believed that anyone who owned it would suffer from the terrible curse that was placed upon it. The thing is, nobody knows
I want a Pisano base to give to people for Christmas.
exactly why it was cursed. Oh, and also, nobody knows where it is or if it even actually exists. The whole thing is kind of a myth in its own right. The stories of the cursed Pisano vase are what holds the whole mystery together, but there are no actual eyewitness
Somebody regifted that sucker to somebody. I'm sure of it.
accounts of the physical vase. Only tales of its murderous powers. I told you it was a weird one. This alleged 15th century object was believed to have originally been crafted and given as a wedding gift, presumably to a delighted couple who were thrilled to receive a curse on their happy day. Anyways, the details then get pretty
Show us a bright side video. Ew.
fuzzy to downright murky, and then they plunge into complete darkness. All we know is that it is a vase that may or may not have existed, and if it does, then it's cursed. The end.
Stop saying vase like that. It's a vase, not a vase.
Number 7. The Titanic Curse. All great tragedies will often attract notions of supernatural involvement as people try to find answers for things that defy explanation, like the sinking of the Titanic.
It was obviously cursed by witches.
The horrendous death toll in the worst maritime disaster ever had really upset people, and they were looking for explanations. So they looked to see if it could have been the result of a curse. 1 month after
The explanation was hubris. The hubris of man was the explanation. Just like the ocean explorer that went down there to look at the Titanic. Their fate was sealed by hubris as well. Right? Not a curse. Is the thing that happened once a curse, or do we count the sub? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The curse is hubris, which is mankind's curse to bear.
After the disaster, the Washington Post led with a headline that suggested the whole thing was the result of an ancient Egyptian mummy's curse. The ransacking of Egyptian treasure was also a popular pursuit during this time, and it seems as though people were letting their imaginations run away from them a little. There were also some speculations about the survivors of the sinking, and that many of them met untimely ends or died in unusual circumstances. But this is all just the way that anything to do with the Titanic has been perpetually recycled and retold and juiced up to feed the tragedy-hungry public in the wake of the disaster, and in fact, through all time to this very day. Number 6. The Treasure of the Templars.
Ooh, now we get to the Baphomet is my main gal, right? Or my main guy. Baphomet's a hermaphrodite, like in the classic sense. So, I would love a Baphomet sculpture for my shelf back here. I just don't have one. But, yeah, I love the whole aesthetic. Kind of my aesthetic. Tits and a...
The Knights Templar have long been shrouded in mystery and secrets and the promise of hidden treasures. This order of soldiers was endorsed by the Catholic Church and sent out to do its bidding. Like many secret societies, they've been associated with lost treasures, secret codes, and many unsolved mysteries throughout the centuries since.
I'm pretty sure the Heart of the Ocean was probably stolen from India. Everything else was stolen from India, so yeah.
Their prominence, but the legitimacy of these claims is generally unfounded. It's more often bolstered by fictional accounts that get people's heads in a spin, with the promise of lots of lovely lost loot hidden somewhere. The thing is, though, the Catholic Church funded the Knights Templar, and frankly, that's one organization that knows how to hang on to its cash. Just saying. But if you do want to go
That's one organization that knows how to strip the wealth from other parts of the world too. I mean, especially the New World, but yeah, India's a great example into the Southeast Asia, China, Japan.
Looking for that lost treasure, by all means have a go at it. Maybe you're the lucky one after all. Number 5. Delhi Purple Sapphire. A haunted gemstone that also goes by the name the Gem of Sorrow sounds like something you would really want to avoid,
we talked about that one before.
The story of this gloomy old rock goes that a British soldier,
Let's do
the Iceman.
Oh, see the
Whether this
Iceman.
remarkable discovery is cursed or not is really a matter of opinion. But you know, wherever
It's not, because curses aren't real. But go on.
there's a mummy, there's someone with a notion that there is a curse. And for the most part, it's just been a find of extraordinary interest or understanding the history of humanity. Otzi the Iceman is a very well-preserved mummy that would be discovered in the Italian Alps in 1991. The mummified remains are estimated to be...
I remember being in elementary school and getting our weekly reader, which was this like newspaper print, like children's newspaper. Basically, it's called the Weekly Reader, and we'd get it every like Monday or whatever. In 1991, when they discovered Otzi, right? We did they had a whole segment on it. I was super stoked about it, and the rest of I was like in third grade. Yeah, I was like in third grade, third or fourth. But the classmates were like, blah, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah, and they just they didn't get it, how incredible this find was.
5,300 years old, and despite their age, contain lots of lovely, exciting science-based information about how people may have lived during that time. The mummy has continued to attract the interest of scientists and the wider public ever since its discovery. He's been studied in great depth over
Yeah, but what about the curse?
that time and has relinquished secrets to those who have wanted to follow.
Including bro had some tats, so he was inked. Yeah, one of us degenerates. Otzi, the Iceman.
The clues. Number 3. Maori warrior masks. The Maori people of New Zealand have a rich and fascinating history. Their culture of storytelling, artwork, and hunting is bound up.
They love it. I'm into it.
In the handed-down crafts of their ancestors. Carvings like these masks were made to represent ancestors or gods, and were not intended to be worn, but rather to adorn homes or mark places as a point of reverence. There is a long-held belief that if the maker of a mask were to die violently and their spirit could not reach Hawaii, then they may possess objects or people. The objects that they made were a most likely place for a spirit to take up residence.
So if I make something like, let's see. You know what? I made this hat. I did too. I mean, I didn't make the hat like itself, but I've decorated it, right? So now when I die, I will haunt this hat, and whoever wears it will be possessed by the spirit of Bumblebee. Now I'm wearing my cursed hat.
Number 2. Curse of the Aztec God. Yes, this is the made-up story from the Pirates of the Caribbean. The treasure of Cortez was a stone chest containing 882 pieces of Aztec gold. The heathen gods are said to have hexed the treasure with dark magic as vengeance.
Why are you using that kind of language for them, though? The heathen gods. Why don't you just call them the Aztec gods, the Aztec deities, or the Aztec spirits, or the ancestral Aztec spirits, something like that? So the heathen gods. Because what god isn't a heathen god? I think it depends on your religious upbringing. Everything else is going to be heathen to you, right?
It's for Cortez's greed. The curse stated that any mortal who removed a piece of gold from the chest would be punished for all of eternity, so it's pretty stern stuff then. Apparently, the curse could only be lifted by returning all the pieces of the Aztec gold to the stone chest and following that up with a payment in blood. The story, when first told to all of those naughty pirates and Captain Barbossa's crew, was met with a good deal of hilarity and incredulity. And by the time they learned that it was indeed true,
Baby, this is
This
is fiction. How could a fictional curse end lives? You said these are 20 cursed treasures that ended lives. How did this end? How did the fictional treasure from Pirates of the Caribbean into anybody's life.
Already cursed. Such fun. Who doesn't like a good swashbuckle every now and then? Number 1.
Number 1. What's it going to be? The curse of the pumpkin vine on the chain link fence.
The Johnsburg treasure. A keen vegetable gardener in Illinois popped out to his backyard to pick some broccoli for
Hey, that's where I'm from, Illinois.
dinner.
Actually, I'm from Missouri, but I came here from Illinois. I lived in both states. I actually, I'm from the Mississippi River Valley. The state, it's almost like its own state.
Got rather more than he had bargained for. Does anyone know just what the protocol is when you find a bag stuffed with cash in your cabbage patch? It seems as though this sort of discovery could land you in hot water in many different and imaginative ways. Usually, a bag containing $150,000 in $20 bills isn't really completely legit. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of honest people.
If I found $120,000 in my backyard, no one's going to know I found $120,000 in my backyard. But there will be signs
Out there who keep their savings in small denominations inside bags in other people's yards. It's the safest place after all. But this, well, it seemed like it probably spelled trouble for the gardener. It really is the beginning of a movie plot now, isn't it? After a certain amount of deliberation, he then decided to take the discovery to the local police station and let them figure out what to do next. Likely as not, though, no one will come forward to declare that they've lost a big bag of cash. I mean, do they have all the receipts for that? Well, treasure that's been cursed is just a bit more exciting than the regular lost kind. A bit of supernatural weirdness definitely makes for...
My name is Samuel Pike.
Oh,
I'm...
No. Let's see if,
Curses have been around since the dawn of time. The truth about the power to speak magical words on an object or a place, and for those words to have some power to affect the life of any person.
We're going to pause that for a second. Okay, so touch treasure, and then...
The image for ya. This is a seriously bling skeleton, and it belongs to a martyr for Catholicism. The story of these martyrs is amazing, and they were first discovered back in the 16th century, and these were the bodies of perhaps 750,000 Christians who were persecuted by the Romans and then buried in this enormous catacomb, which is now in Germany. When the Catholic Church heard about
this... Look how gilded them motherfuckers are, though.
They decided to venerate some of the dead as martyrs, giving them incredible jewels and outfits, and they stayed this way.
I don't understand that either. Like, number 1 was cursed. Did the guy who found the money die?
For a long time.
Did the cops come and take it from him? Because his first mistake was talking to the cops. Don't ever talk to the cops unless you have to. Unless they have a warrant.
However, it is believed that the Romans may have cursed their bones, and their discovery coincided with a decline for the Catholic Church, which continues to this day. Did the ancient Romans lay a curse on them?
I actually think the curse of the Catholic Church is that they're child predators, or they're either directly child predators or they defend child predators. That's the curse, and that's the decline. So trying to blame it on some skeletons is just pointless.
Always comment down below with the hashtag #RareTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. Let's move on to the next one. Number 14. The Koh-i-Noor Diamond.
Okay, so
the Koh-i-Noor Diamond is one of the world's most famous diamonds. It was probably mined back in the 12th century or thereabouts in the...
See, these are mostly all the same ones. Terracotta Army, Oak Island, Pisano Vase. Here's maybe they'll tell us more about what's cursed about this in this one.
Number 7. The Johnsburg Treasure. Wayne Sabaj was a 51-year-old man who found a treasure.
Let's see if they can explain why this is cursed, because 2 people now say this is cursed.
Of $150,000 cash in his own garden. He was picking some broccoli for his dinner when he found the money stuffed in nylon bags. Finders keepers, thought Wayne, but there were some twists in this lucky find still to come. His neighbor, Dolores Johnson, said that she owned the money but had put it in her neighbor's garden because the money was cursed. The courts had to decide if she was telling the truth, so the case was opened. However, just 10 days after the money was found, Wayne Sabaj dropped dead from diabetes. The money, it seemed, was going to...
Dropped dead from diabetes. That's the curse. I never understood the allure of shiny rocks. Diamonds are just shiny rocks. The dark ones with speckles are way prettier. I like all kinds of shiny rocks. I don't see why a diamond has so much more value than, like, say, a piece of quartz, though. I mean, to me, I understand the rarity of a diamond existing. We can synthesize diamonds now, so that's sort of been nullified. But why? Why are they? Because they're rare, I guess. But I like quartz.
End up back with Dolores, only she too died suddenly within a month. In the end, the court ruled that without proof that Dolores originally owned the money, they would have to split it 50-50 between the children of the two neighbors. But they are likely a little worried about what this...
I'm sure their kids will be fine with $150,000 split among them. Any updates on that?
First money will do to them. Number 6. The Titanic Curse.
Okay, we're going to figure out why they think the Titanic's cursed. Because last time they said the Titanic was cursed, I didn't understand it. They got the Terracotta Army on here, too. We'll see what it
Legend has it that it was not just a random iceberg that sank the famous ship, the Titanic, but the curse of an Egyptian mummy. More than 1,500 people drowned in the most famous disaster in history. And there are many who attribute the fate...
The most famous disaster in history? Are you sure? What about the London fire? What about the Great Chicago fire? What about the San Francisco earthquake? What about 9/11? Those are just, again, just examples that I can think of as being someone who was educated American-centric. So there's other huge disasters. I think there's a huge earthquake in the Philippines. I can't remember the year, that killed so many people. There's been some volcanic eruptions that have wiped out civilizations. So to say the Titanic and its few thousand passengers were the worst tragedy in history is a bit of an overstatement, in my humble opinion.
Of the unsinkable ship to the presence of a mummy carrying a curse, which was also on board. This mummy was acquired by the British Museum in 1889 and was immediately called the Unlucky Mummy by museum researchers and staff. The mummy was that of the Princess of Amun-Ra, and her coffin and mummy were purchased by a British man who died not long after its arrival in...
That's what you get for buying dead... This is what we were talking about before, about with people buying just mummies, buying them up and being awful with them.
In England, it passed through several other owners, many of them suffering tragedies, so that in the end even the British Museum didn't want it anymore, and they were happy to give it away to an American collector who didn't believe in curses. So it was loaded onto the Titanic to make its way to its new home, only it
Did they give it away or did they sell it? I bet they sold it to him.
Didn't quite make it that far and now lies at the bottom of the ocean. Number 5.
So there's an ancient Egyptian mummy apparently on the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. Who knew? All right. The treasure of the temple. But we wanted to go back and revisit the Terracotta Army, see what the heck they're talking about with the curse, right?
Number 10. Terracotta Army.
Okay.
Back in 1974, some farmers in Lingtong County, near the city of Xi'an, China, were doing a little digging when they accidentally made there to protect the mighty emperor from his enemies in the afterlife. And you have to think that showing up there with 8,000 soldiers would probably be pretty intimidating. Anyway, to make sure no one screwed things.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say most famous disasters, Titanic, what you think of, Kip? I mean, it's not what I think of, but I mean, I'm biased because I'm from the Midwest too, so I think of the Great Flood of '93 as being the most famous disaster. But people outside of that area might not even know what that is.
up back on Earth, the whole place was cursed, and many farmers in the area believe that the archaeological work that has gone on there has unleashed some bad juju. Although it seems like the worst curse has been the Chinese Communist Party government, who tore down all the farmers' houses and reclaimed their land to build a tourist attraction. Number 9.
That's like, yeah, that's not communist. That's, wow. The eminent domain kind of thing. That's it's unfortunate, but that doesn't have anything to do with communism. It happens over here too. People get their houses torn down to put in a freeway or a parking lot. Yeah, but funny how this channel's like, oh, Communist Party did this. It's like the big government did that. In a actual communist setting, there wouldn't be a party. There wouldn't be a hierarchy, so whatever.
The Oak Island Treasure.
Already did that one. Let me see. Was there any other ones that we need to revisit? And the Titanic, Templars, Delhi Purple Sapphire, Otzi the Iceman, Maori Warrior Mask, and Cursed Aztec Gold. This is almost the exact same video. Almost. There was one more that I saw that we have. Well, I mean, we can probably wrap up here. I don't know. Is there any cursed treasures that you can think of that I didn't cover? Are there, so, I mean, we've had terracotta armies, we've had mummies, we've had lost gold, we've had, different versions of treasure buried on an island by nefarious people. We have treasures hidden up in the mountains, long lost. What treasure speaks to you the most? Which one do you think might actually be real and still available to be found? And which ones do you think are the most cursed? Yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. As I always say at this time of the show, don't go anywhere because we are not actually done with the show. The Curse of One-Eyed Willie. Oh my gosh. Annabelle. She's a raggedy treasure. Yeah, Annabelle could be a treasure. Warren's Occult Museum. The treasure I can't find is cursed. It's unfindable. Yeah, curse with unfindability is the worst kind of curse that you can put on a treasure. All right. So I'm going to take my last intermission here. And I'm going to go potty. And then I will be back to wrap up the show talking about the man-eating tiger, Champawat, which is in India. So stick around. We will be back momentarily. And then after that, of course, we will be kicking everybody over to Ben's premiere of Holy Spirits. So look forward to that. All right. I'm going to pop over to an intermission. Don't leave. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. And I need you guys to stick around to disperse into Ben's stream so that Holy Spirits gets a good inaugural launch. I don't know, inaugural, is that the right word? What's the, like when a ship first, when they bust the bottle over the front of the ship, what's that called? It's not inaugural. It's like a maiden voyage. What's the word am I looking for? Tell me in the comment or in the side chat if you know what the word I'm looking for. It's gonna bug me, but I'll see you guys back here in just a minute. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees. Welcome to Bree's Bestiary, which is the final segment of Live from the Hive every Saturday morning. Live from the Hive, where you can come hang out with me and my beautiful Hive, who you see there in the side chat. And we do a morning show, a variety morning show. We do start off with CrypticCorner, where we look at, I have the pulled right up here on my sticky note, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. And then we do our Weekend Weird, where we look at strange and bizarre conspiracies that are floating around the world and people are actually believing to be true. So if you like either of those types of topics, join me every Saturday morning, and it wraps up right here with Bree's Bestiary, where I explore the history and folklore wrapped around specific animals. Yeah. So without further ado, I want to welcome you to our Summer of the Man-Eater, where we explore man-eating animals and the history that's wrapped around them. Sometimes we'll pick out a certain individual. Sometimes we will talk about the way that certain animals were viewed historically. But today, we are actually looking at the most prolific man-eating cat that I know of. And it's actually a tiger. Who would have thought? The man-eating tiger, the Champawat tiger. And this is being brought to us by Absurd and Fantastical. And they do all sorts of man-eating animal videos and things like that. So we'll see what they have to say on this one. Oh, I meant to close that. And then after that, we're going to kick it right over here to Holy Spirits, which is live in an hour. Of course, we don't go for another hour. We only have most 20 or so minutes left on the show. But we're going to send you all over there to hit the bell. All right. So, here we go.
436 victims. A 7-year reign of terror. The Champawat tigress holds the record for the most human kills by a single animal. She is known as the Devil of India.
Poor baby was hurt too.
On a cool afternoon in 1907, a young girl, along with 2 other women from a small Indian village, went to a ravine to gather leaves for their fires and homes. The afternoon was pleasant, the humidity of the jungle cooled by the clouded skies. They were looking forward to a bout of rain. With baskets and knives in hand, they scrambled up the trees and quickly got to.
We got such a good rain last night. I'm in the Chihuahua Desert, so we don't get a lot of rain here. But when it rolls off the mountains nice and heavy like it did last night, oh, it's so wonderful. I open up all my windows, just throw them open, let that rain come in, the cool, humid air come in because it's really dry here.
Work, all the while chattering gossip between the thick leaves. After the young girl had gathered enough leaves for her home, she slid off the branch feet first and immediately screamed in terror when a tiger slammed its paw into her foot. Yelling and thrashing, she desperately tried to haul herself back up onto the branch, but with a hard pull, the tiger yanked her clear of the tree and pulled her into the ravine. She could hear the screams from the other 2 women, their shouts and desperate pleas echoing in her ears moments before the tiger's teeth tore into her throat and killed her. And so the
How do you know what she could hear before they killed her, though? I mean, I know you're being poetic, but...
Devil of Champawat claimed its 434th victim. In the 1800s,
let's go back to the beginning.
It was said that the war between tiger and man was so fierce in India that either man or beast could come out the victor. People would walk between villages in groups, holding torches up high to scare off any would-be man-eaters.
And tigers are especially afraid of fire. It's a central plot to the Jungle Book, but like it's a real thing. There was a tiger that set a whole menagerie on fire that we talked about or looked into. No, that was just me by myself. I'm weird. I look up zoo and circus stuff like on my free time and watch videos about it and stuff and the history of it. But there was a big fire that was started because it was cold and someone wanted to help keep the tiger warm, so they put a fire right next to it and he freaked out.
In nature, the Bengal tigers are fiercely powerful. Their bite force alone is over 1,000 pounds square inch, and their canines are the longest of all the cat family. They can carry their prey over a mile, even if it's heavier than they are, and they can easily reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour. To top it off, tigers are known to hold a grudge and will hunt down those who have wronged them.
Look at that face. You don't want to see that face coming at you in the dark. Oh my gosh. Kind of gives you an idea where they got their like the warrior mask and stuff. The Asian warrior mask looks so much like this, like a Chinese warrior mask.
One can then imagine how an abundance of tigers can lead to them becoming a living nightmare. The Champawat devil had been terrorizing the small community between Champawat and Pali for well over 4 years. Having been chased away from the small village town of...
Do we need to look and see where Champawat is? No, not Champawat Tiger, just Champawat. There we go. All right. Let's have a look at this place. Want to? We got time. Time. Yeah, my voice is like, ugh. Been talking for like an hour though, or for 2.5 hours now, so go figure. So this is the region. All right. Let's drop down here and look and see what kind of... I'm assuming it's not like in the city, because I mean it looks pretty urban. But it may be more like urbanized now than it was back then too. Let's see, because look how cluttered it is. Drop right down there. Yeah, it's pretty urban, but like you can see that there's like rural mountains all around, right? And if we go out into the wilderness, let's see, what's the wilderness? I guess this would be the closest wilderness down here. To see what it sort of looked like back then. Is there anywhere to drop down, though? The denser the jungle, the less likely it is I'll be able to drop down. I just want to kind of see what kind of landscape we're looking at. But is that a spot I can drop? No, it's just that's a blue building. You tricked me by being the same color. What part of India is this in? It's way up north. Excuse me, by the mountain shield. Super close to Nepal, too. All right. So, is there any way? This looks very montane. Very, very high elevation that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting more like jungle type setting, but man, these are mountains. Look at that. Somebody built that up there. So that's a thing that exists. But so this is the stomping ground of Bengal tigers. And again, we are in northern India. All right.
Paul, the tiger's reign of terror showed no signs of slowing down. Victim after victim fell under her paws until the people finally placed
Need some dental work done right there.
the bounty on her head. Many hunters would answer the call, but each returned home in shame and failure. She was far more
then there was Jim Corbett.
cunning than they'd given her credit for. She was careful, cautious, smart, and vicious. But a young man who had lived out his life in India, hunting many different animals, also heard the call. His name was Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett would become one of the most prolific man-eater hunters in history. But in 1907 he was young, inexperienced, and he was up against one of the most vicious man-eaters in history. When they summoned him, Jim Corbett immediately asked for the price on the tiger's head to be removed. Unlike many of his fellow hunters, he did not see the tiger as a crazed monster, but rather as an animal, desperate to survive.
Yeah, but bro, you got to get paid. Get paid. If you're going to go out and take care of the man-eater, get paid. You're going to do it anyway. You might as well let the... It was the... who was in charge in India at this time? 1907. The Mughal Empire had fallen like over a century ago, right? Yeah, anyway.
She needed to be stopped, but he'd be damned if he did so for the sake of money. For 4 days he traveled through the hot jungles until he came upon the village of Pali.
Maybe bro was independently wealthy, but you know, money's what we need to survive as a species. So the labor you do, if you need the money, if you do it, you need to be compensated for it because we live under a capitalist system. Britain, thank you. Yeah, Britain was still in charge. When did they lose India?
He found the small town in disarray. The square was filthy, and there wasn't a soul in sight. Spotting movement in the huts, he settled.
Yeah, we got that. It's on the list, Burns, as far as the Rimmery Island saltwater crocodiles that attacked the retreating military units. It is scheduled for... Let's see. Where are you? All right, so that's going to be August 16th. So if you stick a pin in that one, we're going to talk about the Rimmery Island incident.
In the town square, started a fire and decided to wait. Soon enough, pale-faced, terrified villagers trickled out of their homes. They told him they'd been hiding in their homes for 4 days to escape the tiger, to escape the devil. The tiger had stalked the road between Pali and Champawat for the whole week, roaring loudly in the night, waiting for new prey. But they refused to even budge an inch. Now they were running out of food. Realizing their dire straits, Corbett immediately got to work. He took a man with him and headed to the ravine where the poor girl had been killed. He found the pug marks, or tracks of the tiger, and quickly ascertained that they were dealing with an older female, well past her prime. All remains they found of the girl were a few scraps of bone, which they took back to the village to be cremated. A new death would lead him to the neighboring village of Champawat, where horrified eyewitnesses told him how Shaitan, the devil, had carried a woman by the small of her back into the trees. She'd still been alive, screaming and begging for help, but their own fears had prevented them from following the beast. Corbett would also meet a poor woman on the far outskirts of town who'd been struck dumb when the tiger had attacked and killed her sister months prior. The mute woman had chased after the tiger, begging the animal to take her instead, but the tiger had paid her no heed and had disappeared into the bushes. Corbett gathered as much information as he could about the tigress.
And he got like a legendary status. This is what put him on the map, though, as the big hunter, because after this, anytime there was a man-eating tiger, leopard, he was the one called in to take it. I've actually read a couple of his books. I read Maneater. Let me see. Look at his bibliography. Yeah, I read. I've read. Okay, so here we go. The Man-Eating Leopard of Ruder Rapajeg. I don't know if I said that right. And Jungle Stories.
But this information was only helpful so far. He needed a strong lead. He needed a fresh sighting. While Corbett was speaking to the head of the...
Thank you, Aunt Jer.
Village, a young man came running up to him.
I'm giving you guys homework while I'm doing my show. I'm such a bitch. I mean, France just pulled out of Chad this year, I believe. Colonists kept their hooks in there even afterwards. Yeah. And they're still, I mean, we have U.S. has military presence all over the globe, right? We're still colonizing the planet. No doubt.
Breathless and scared witless, the devil had struck again. Grabbing his rifle, Corbett set out into the jungle to find the tiger and hopefully end her reign of terror. He tracked her through the thick bush to a rocky area nestled in a gorge. The sweltering heat made it difficult to breathe in the thick foliage, but Corbett couldn't afford to let his guard down for a moment. He could hear the tiger shift and move, see her just beyond his vision, staying just out of sight, beginning to stalk him. He could feel the terror and excitement rising within him. If she pounced, the chances that he could fire quick enough was slim to none. This was her territory.
Eyes. Look at those tiger eyes. The pupils just gone.
As the sun began its slow dip, Corbett knew that in the dark he stood absolutely no chance against her. So he started back to the village to start work on his new plan. If he pursued her in her own territory, he would be at a disadvantage and in great danger. So he would just have to force her into an area where he could get a clear shot. Early the next day, he stationed the villagers on the crest of a hill opposite another hill. I
don't know why it annoys me so much when people use videos that have like the LME or whatever on them. You can just find one that's not watermarked. I don't know. It annoys me. It's just as a, I don't know, like an eye twitch moment. There's not actually anything wrong with it. You know, do whatever you want, but.
At the bottom of the hill was a wide ravine. On his signal, he told the villagers to make as much noise as possible to flush her out and force her into the open. The plan was to set up a position on the neighboring hill and shoot her once she came into view. But the villagers were perhaps a little too eager. At a staggering 150 yards away from his hoped position, the villagers started making an indecent amount of noise. Corbett ran as hard as he could over the uneven terrain, almost breaking his neck. Above him on the other side of the ravine, the cacophony of guns, pots, pans, and screams swelled over the hill. He hit the ground, settling...
Maya Atkinson intimidates me. I prefer just to be in her chat. Yeah, Maya isn't... You should see Maya in person, though. I mean, she's gorgeous, but yeah.
In the tall grass, praying he hadn't missed her. All he could hear was the continuous roar of sound and cacophony, and he felt his heart sink. Then she appeared. Old yet majestic, she trotted through the underbrush, her eyes wide and ears pinned back at the ruckus. Wasting no time, Corbett took aim and fired. The bullet hit her rump. She snarled and took off. Taking aim again, he was unlucky to land his second shot just behind her as she slipped up a rock. Cursing his bad luck, he set off after her into the foliage.
So my recommendation is to not shoot the tigers in the ass, right? That's probably the best option if you're trying to take out a man-eating tiger. Is to maybe aim for the head or the chest. Of course, I'm not Jim Corbett, so I'm not going to tell the guy how to shoot and what to aim for on the world's most famous big game or big cat hunter, man-eater hunter. I'm not going to tell him how to shoot a tiger, but he shot it in the ass and it ran away.
Above him, cheers roared in the ravine, and he prayed that the people would stay put for the time being. He found the tigress standing on a rock, her body tired and eyes glazed, but upon seeing him, she fell low to the ground, her teeth flashing as a quick warning. He stood his ground, and she snapped into a charge. Corbett fired a third time, this time clipping her in an outstretched paw, which was ready to crush his skull. She collapsed and crawled up and away to find...
So, shot her in the ass and then shot her in the paw. In the paw. I don't know why I said paw.
Finally collapsed on a stone outcrop and died. Corbett crawled up the stone outcrop and knelt next to her. And instantly, his heart broke. Her jaw, completely shattered on top and below, was a cry against humanity. A foolish hunter who had wounded her years ago and had not had the decency to finish the job. The bullet had completely crippled her. She must have been in extreme pain for most of these years, and in her desperate need for food, she had attacked and killed villagers. Shaitan.
A desperate need for food, like 400 people in a couple of years, though. Let me see. We're going to pull up some statistics on that, because this cat is listed almost always consistently at the top. Let me see here. Tiger of Champawat. All right. So this is tiger attacks, the article on tiger attacks in Wikipedia. Right. Tiger attacks in the Sundarbans are happening like not right now. Right now they're happening. But she had a 200 adults, and then let's see, the Champawat tiger was a meat-eating tigress which reportedly killed 200 adults before being driven out of Nepal. She moved to the Champawat district in the state of Uttarakhand in North India and continued to kill, bringing her total human kills to 436. She was finally tracked down and killed on May 12, 1907. She was known to enter villages during daylight, roaring and causing people to flee in panic to their huts. Yeah. I guess Jim was only 16 at the time. Oh, no. Sorry, that's wrong. That's one of the victims after he killed the 16-year-old girl. I was like, oh, wow. How old would he have been in 1907? Let me see. Jim Corbett. And he's born in 1875. So by 1900, he was 25. So he's 32. Yeah. So he's not that young in this scenario. Let's see. Later examination of the tiger showed the upper and lower canine teeth on the right side of her mouth were broken. The upper one in half and the lower one right down to the bone. Ow. Permanent injury. Corbett claimed had prevented her from killing her natural prey and had been causing her to become a man-eater. Plus, I mean, if a human did it, if she was shot by a human, right? She would have, vengeful kitty, a kitty getting its revenge. How do they know it was the same tiger? That's a good question. And yeah, teeth marks. They can examine the bite radius and things like that on the victims and compare it. Right. That's how they come to those assessments. But as we saw, like when we looked at this a minute ago, and I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in here too, because let's add this to our favorite places. All right, because as you can see, she said she was driven out of Nepal. Nepal's just right here. That's like, there's the border, right? She's just on the other side of the border of Nepal. So, yeah.
Shaitan! The word carried up and over the ravine, and before he knew it, the villagers were upon him, demanding that she be handed over so that they could hack her to pieces. Each of these men had suffered from this tigress in one way or another. Corbett could not blame them for their anger, but he could not allow them to hack her to pieces. Somehow, he managed to stop them, and slowly they began to calm down. When he did finally hand her over, they carried her down the rock.
She's the devil, they thought. Yeah. I mean, and it's like folk beliefs about what tigers are and what they do. Let's see. Padma Lakshmi, host and judge of Top Chef, has a scar on her arm from a car accident. When she gets tired of people asking about her scar, she says she was attacked by a tiger as a child. Oh.
With reverence. The reign of terror had finally come to an end. The tigress would be taken from village to village to prove to all the people that the devil had been slain. Corbett would eventually skin her and take the pelt with him as a trophy, but not before making one final stop. He took the pelt to the mute woman, and when she saw the skin of the dead tigress, she ran through the village, calling all to come and see. He remembered the awestruck expression from her children at that moment, as for 12 months before that point, their mother had not spoken a word. The story...
Yeah. So he healed he healed her muteness, like with the power of white man with a gun, killing tigers.
of the Champaway Devil remains a terrifying tale of darkness, tragedy, and a serious example of nature's fury. But dead center, at the heart of it, is the rallying cry against the unfairness of it all, of a tiger who had turned man-eater due to the stupidity of a hunter who had wounded but not killed. It is very possible, though, that her anger had manifested in her need to kill people. It was a hunter who had wounded her in the first place, and tigers do hold grudges. But perhaps in her story, we can all remember that sometimes anger can be justified.
All right. Well, that was our man-eating tiger story. Hopefully. Of course, this is the segment I come back to. Yeah, talking about man-eating tigers. So, I mean, you came back to it, but it's over now. We're finished up for... All the segments are completed for the day. And this will redirect over to Holy Spirits. But Holy Spirit still has a whole half an hour before it premieres. But, yeah... Holy Spirits is Ben's new show. This is season 1, episode 1. We got Sydney Davis Jr. I know that's her maiden name, but and she's married now, but I believe that she still uses that for her stage name currently. And then Secular Rarity, SR. The stories that they're telling, if I recall correctly, is I think that I know for a fact that Sydney's going to talk about Genesis, but as far as SR, I haven't seen it, so we'll have to wait and see. So make sure you hit the bell when you get redirected over there, because it's going to be a fun time. Now, as far as I go, as far as Bree goes, as far as the Hive goes, closing out another episode of Live from the Hive, where we looked at what did we look at today? We had the Lyrans, which I thought was just going to be cat aliens, but it's cat aliens, albino people, and bird people are all the Lyrans, or Lyrans, however you want to say it. And they're starseeds, so people born in human bodies now that used to be lion people. Who would have thought? And then we did some different cursed treasures, where we kind of hopped around and looked at different treasures from around the globe. And I don't want to say we debunked any of them. A lot of them didn't have a lot of substance to them, really. It was just like some people think, that this was a curse. And things like the King Tut's tomb, where someone dies 60 years later. It must be the curse because they were involved in the opening of the tomb. And then we wrap things up here with the tigers. Now, I love tigers. Tigers are beautiful, powerful animals, but we are also viewed as their prey. I mean, they've lived alongside us for, hundreds of thousands of years. And our primitive ancestors as well, right? Or the Denisovans probably tangled with tigers. So if you keep that in mind, they just see us as part of their the prey in their natural ecosystem. Now, modern man, of course, we have fire and firearms, which shifts the score a little bit. But tigers do be eating people, so be careful out there if you find yourself wandering in tiger country. All right, what else? As I've been letting people know, recently I had a job down here for a little bit since I got down here, but I recently lost that job. So I'm once again, this is my only source of income currently. This and then my adult content stuff, if you're interested in that. But if you want to support me, there's maybe become a channel member, obviously, over here. But I also have a Patreon. If you want to give more direct support, you can go to my Buy Me Coffee link. If you want something in return for your support, I do have CrypticCorner t-shirts that I hear nothing but good things about, so that's good. Yeah. And then what else? And then obviously I have adult stuff if you're into that. It's the bot drops the link for that. So, there's a lot of ways that you can help a girl out while she's struggling and trying to find some work. While I'm down here, unfortunately, things just hit a rough patch. But we'll get through it. We always do. Thank you so much to everybody who hung around, though. Thank you, everybody who wanted to come in here and see what I had to say. See what the Hive has to offer. I will be, transpositions on Thursday with Ember Balrad, Stephanie Helms, and Carly Chardonnay Webb, bringing you the most up-to-date news that we can find that impacts transgender communities around the globe. And then next Friday, I am covering Bob Larson. I think I might be flying solo on this one for Charlatans Web, but I might pull somebody in if I feel like it, or if I find somebody who wants to. Yeah. So, a food delivery. Right now, I started using Grubhub because DoorDash did the thing where the trans person had to have their dead name on their account, but then all the places did it, so I was like, whatever, and went back to DoorDash. So I'm on DoorDash now. That's the main one I use. I have Grubhub still, but I think I still have yeah, this is the last month of my Dash Pass. So I bought a year of Dash Pass in July of 2024. So I still have that, but anyway, enough about me. I think that we are getting to the point where I'm just rambling. So I will see you guys back here next Saturday morning, of course, for another installment of Live from the Hive. Next Friday for Charlatans Web, and next Thursday for the transpositions. So thank you so much for sticking with me. Please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time. Yeah, you are a cryptic creeper.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.